Hello and welcome to round 6 of the TSL
Thanks for welcoming me, mate. I think it's going to be an intriguing match today. Of course, we know Launceston currently well and truly the benchmark of the competition. They're unbeaten and they have a chance to go into the bye having beaten every team in the comp if they win today. But Clarence, a few outs at the selection table due to injury, but they've been pretty competitive in most of their games. It will just be interesting to see if it's enough to stack up against this Blues outfit.
Yeah, spot on, mate. As you say, Lonnie is sitting pretty comfortably 5 and zip at the top of the ladder, and then we've got Clarence sitting in 5th in that kind of logjam on 1 win and 3 losses with the Tigers and Glenorchy in 5th position. But as you just mentioned, the outs for Clarence are pretty big today. Obviously, the midfield of Launceston is pretty dangerous, and Clarence have got a big few names out in that midfield, Hamish.
Yeah, they do. So they're missing their captain, Brady Jones, and also Oliver Davis, who was probably their best player last week, of course, AFL draft hopeful. Also missing James Bealey, and young Noah Holmes has been pretty good up forward. So the one thing that Clarence fans will be happy to know is there are some good young players coming in. Baker Smith, who was their best and fairest in the under-18s last year. Darcy Gardner, who I think was the best first-year player in the under-18s last year. Luke Swinton and Christopher Neild, who was their leading goal kicker last year. So a few handies in there, but they'll definitely miss that experience up the top.
Yeah, I think Neild's obviously probably the big in there. He's kicked a fair few goals last year, and hopefully Clarence can look to him to put a bit of scoreboard pressure on. And Launceston just the one out today. Tim Bristow, the veteran, has gone out with a hamstring. He's obviously a big loss in that midfield group, but they've got enough depth, I think, to cover his loss today.
Yeah, and also adding Grant Holt to a really already potent forward line. And I guess with Bristow, it says something that he actually had to come through the development league to get back in the team. That's just how well they're going through the midfield at the moment, and you'd have to think we'd see that continue today.
Yep. Maybe just touch on last week, Hamish. Lonnie had that very close win against North Hobart, first versus second. It was probably one of the games of the year so far.
Oh yeah, it definitely was, especially that third quarter. 10 goals scored in that quarter, and 4 coming from Dylan Riley, who had 16 for the year and well and truly in front in the Hudson medal. It was just a really exciting game, and obviously a lot of people talked about North Hobart pushing the current ladder leader more than they have this season, but you have to give kudos to the Blues for just finding a way to hang on and win in the end.
They're a very experienced side, and then obviously we turn the page over to Clarence. They had a pretty disappointing loss to the Tigers down at their new home ground in Richmond, and I read during the week Jeremy Weberley, the playing coach, he was pretty dirty on his plays. He didn't think the effort was there, and he's asked for a pretty big response this week against the ladder leaders.
Yeah, he definitely was. I saw that interview, and he's pretty scathing of not only all his players, but his own effort as well. And on the scoreboard, it didn't look like a bad loss, only 15 points, but the kind of cracks were papered over a bit with a 5-goal last quarter. They got completely outplayed in the first half, which was a bit uncharacteristic from what we've seen from them this season. They've been pretty competitive, so hopefully they can rebound this week and bring it up against the Blues.
They're in for a very tough task today against a side that's kind of shocked a lot of people. Probably not a lot of people up north, but maybe down south with the great form they've been in. Obviously, they broke the duck in round 2 against North Lonnie, who's been the benchmark of the competition for the last 3 years. But where do you think Clarence have got a chance today if they're going to win this game, Hamish?
I think you have to look up forward. It's probably what people have been calling the Achilles heel potentially of Launceston's side. I mean, you call it the Achilles heel, it hasn't been exposed yet. They play a really good team defence. They have guys like Jacob Smith there who play really well, but you look at Clarence's forward line, they probably have the most highly touted recruit of the season in Josh Green, of course, former player for the Brisbane Lions in Essendon, and of course Jeremy Weberley does a lot of damage around there, so you'd think that might be where they're able to get on top, but of course they have to win it in the midfield first, which is no easy challenge.
Yeah, I think that's obviously where the game is probably in Lonnie's favour. They obviously rank first in hit-outs in the competition, and they've probably got the best midfielder in the competition at the minute in Joby Harper, who's averaging 21.2 disposals a game, and whoever gets the job on him is going to be in for a very tough day, I'd say.
Yeah, and even if they win that battle, they've got just Jay Blackray and Fletcher Seymour. They don't go there too badly, but we're about to kick it off here at Windsor Park.
Interesting to see who the ruck battle today of Ryan Bailey and Tim Auckland. Tim Auckland's obviously taken that number 1 role over Hamish Leadham, and he probably got his colours lowered a bit last week, but he's probably been one of the informed players in the competition so far.
Yeah, definitely came back from Central Districts in the Sandford and just made that number 1 ruck spot his own. A big part of how they've been able to get such dominance in the midfield this season.
Very interesting to see how that battle eventuates today, and obviously we're just about to kick off action here at Windsor Park, round 6 TSL action. Clarence and Launceston, we thank everyone for tuning in today, wherever you may be listening or watching at home. Just waiting for the umpire now to bounce the ball.
Yeah, thankfully doesn't look too wet up there. The ground looks a bit wet, but if it was raining, you'd probably favour Clarence with just their big contested midfielder. Sorry, not Clarence, Launceston, but the umpires are about to ball it up for what should hopefully be a pretty interesting game.
Ball gets thrown up. Bailey wins that one down, but Auckland gets the kick out of the guts. He kicks forward. Very scrappy so far. Could have got taken high there, but the umpires let that one go. Ball up in the centre of the ground. Auckland wins that one down, and very scrappy contest. Ball up again.
Yes, he touched on pretty scrappy, which you'd think were going on his favour at the moment. As Auckland and Bailey go at it again. Bailey just got his hand to it, but it's a sea of Lonnie players there. Got their handball out, it is good. Don Allen sends it inside 50. Is it going to get there in the end?
Banks kicks that one out.
Just spills onto the wing. It looks like Clarence might be able to get it out of dodge here. They send it up the ground, and a good strong mark there. Nice fluoro set of hair. Heads over to Jared Harper, looking for options further for field. And it looks like it's Josh Green. Can he get the ball in the end? But a sea of Launceston players get there to mop it up. They send it up the ground in there, and pack flies, but nobody gets it, and it spills out of bounds for a bowl up.
Very tight contest in the opening minutes here, Hamish. I think Clarence have obviously had probably the majority of the play so far, but it looks like Clarence have come definitely to play today against the ladder leaders.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can keep it up throughout the match.
Got a boundary throw in just above the half-forward line for North Launceston. Umpire throws it in. Auckland wins the tap down again, but we might go to Clarence clearance. No, goes out to Palfreyman. He kicks inside 50, the first one of the game, which stops double team there. The Clarence player in Harper takes it over the boundary line, and it's come off the boot, but it's out of bounds throw in.
Yeah, well, they'd be pretty nervous at the moment, guys like Dylan Riley, Jake Hines at the feet of Auckland. We'll have to see if Launceston can create something here.
I think he's the guy you got to watch in that forward line. Obviously, Dylan Riley. He can break a game open with a split of a fingernail. Launceston get it out. It's a quick click by Blackberry, and he has kicked a goal. First goal of the game, Jay Blackberry.
Yeah, well, of course, the former captain there. He used to play up forward, but he's moved more into the midfield recently, so great to see him impact the scoreboard earlier for the home side.
And again, it's that midfield group of Auckland, Blackberry, Harper, Seymour when he runs through there. They're the danger. That's a danger area for Clarence in this game. And even when they do get a lot of possessions, they do actually hit the scoreboard too, which is something I'm sure Mitch Thorpe and the coaching group at Launceston will be pretty happy about.
Yeah, I reckon you're right there, and it's definitely the one thing that they need to be careful of. Stoppages inside Launceston's forward 50. It's going to be pretty deadly with Auckland feeding its midfielders each time.
Ball goes back up in the middle. It's one down by Clarence there and Bailey. We've got a centre clearance here by Launceston. They kick short kick. It's marked on the half-back flank by Jeremy Webley. The coach, he's kicked wide over to Jared Harper, who's had a bit of the football early in this game. He brings it up across the wing to the Clarence player, who brings it again up on that left-hand side of the ground. Keegan Wiley has it now. He's got a quick kick out to Christopher Neal with the bleach blonde hair. It's definitely an interesting mop.
In vogue at the moment in the AFL. He bombs it inside forward 50, but Clarence had all the players there, and it's big Tim Auckland. You'd love to see Ruckman do that, get behind and take a mark down the ground.
Mitch Thorpe will be very happy with his Ruckman doing that, yes. So Auckland kicks out of the back 50. Pack forms, and Keegan Wiley's gone up, but he can't take the mark. There's going to be another ball up just on the wing.
Yeah, pretty tight contest at the moment, which you'd think would favour Launceston just having the bigger bodies around. They back themselves in.
Yeah. Ruck battle goes up. great tackle on power for him in there by Ethan Jackson, sorry. It's another contested ball up in the middle of the ground.
Been in good form, Jackson, a bit more time in the midfield, and it's been paying dividends so far this season. Ruck's great, and it's actually Bailey who gets the tap there. It's Neild who tries to get the ball. He taps it forward a bit, tries to create something, but Launceston just too strong in the end, and they could be out here if Hines can get onto the ball. Created a good contest, but it doesn't look like they'll get it. Riley was also involved there, and looks like we'll have another stoppage just towards Launceston's forward 50.
We spoke pre-game, Hamish, that Clarence are obviously the best tackling team in the competition. We've seen that pretty early here. Every time Lonnie's seen to get the ball, it's straight away there's a roo jumper on top of them.
Bailey got the handball out there, but it actually goes in Launceston's favour, inside forward 50. Alec Wright's there circling the ball, but he's surrounded by a sea of red. Launceston player gets it, and he's wrapped up, and it's a free Launceston's way. So he sends it towards the square. Who's there for him to fly? Ball falls to the ground. Riley's got it, but he can't get out. He's had it a while, and the umpire decides it's another ball up. So another stoppage inside of Launceston's.
Bit of push and shove there. It'll be interesting to see who gets the job on Dylan Riley today. I'm sure that Jeremy Webley's going to send one of his best defenders to him, but we're just waiting to see if there's actually going to be a run with roll on Dylan Riley in this game. Bailey gets a kick out of the defensive 50, kicks wide to the half-forward flank. It's who's that there? We've got Auckland's got the ball now. He kicks it inside 50 off the ground, but it's a pretty scrappy kick, and Clarence are able to rebound out of that back 50. Goes up onto the wing. Pretty scrappy ball here. Clarence had tackled straight away. That's dropping the ball, but the umpire says, oh no, he's called holding the ball. Free kick to Launceston just on the wing on the right side of Windsor Park.
Yeah, definitely had the majority of forward 50s entries at the moment. It looks like that's where they're heading again. Good kick. Wright just spilled the marker off his chest, but Launceston get the ball inside their forward 50 again. Pack flies. It was half at the back, but he couldn't hold it. Big man Bailey there to contest, and the ruckman's done well. He's actually gotten the ball out of the contest. Jackson around the ball, but a lot of good pressure from Launceston at the moment, keeping it inside their forward 50. Ball's just gotten out. It's Wright again who sent it up forward, but Clarence defence holding pretty strong at the moment.
Yeah, they are. They're holding pretty strong. They've had a fair few inside 50s. There's no doubt Launceston will be winning that count so far in this game with just over 6 minutes gone. But yeah, I'm sure that'll be an area where Jeremy Webley's looking to lock down, because his defenders are doing a great job with the amount of ball that's been going in that forward 50 for Launceston. Auckland gets the ball just on the half-forward flank. He's had a shot at goal, but it's gone out on the full, and that's probably why you don't see a ruckman take trick shots like that a lot, Hamish.
Yeah, Jason Dunstall probably wouldn't be too happy with that. He's got pretty strong views on ruckman, but given the form Auckland's been in, he's probably entitled to have a pin there.
Yeah, very good play. Definitely entitled to take a pin there, but it didn't work out on that occasion. Jeremy Webley's got the ball in the back pocket. He kicks into the centre of the back 50. Dangerous kick, but it's come off. And we've got a mark there to James Holmes, one of Clarence's young guns. James Holmes kicks out. That's a risky kick, and it's been cut off by Jake Hines on the forward 50. He was going to play on there, but he's decided to go back a bit. He's found an option inside 50. Kicks long. He's gone to Dylan Riley. He's gone up, couldn't take the mark. Alec Wright runs after that ball. He's probably been the most influential, forward in this game so far. He's had a fair bit of the ball in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, and he's gone up the ground quite a bit, which Mitch Fort will be happy with, and it looks like he's going to contest the ruck contest here as well against Bailey, but Bailey just a bit too much experience there, gets out ahead. Tackle there, and hasn't gone out of bounds, but now it does. About to call out on the Fools, but it's out of bounds. So a lot of pressure from Launceston here, just locking the ball inside their forward 50, but only the one goal to show for it. And actually, it looks like the umpires are discussing it.
I thought it was out on the full.
Yeah, that was the initial call, and he changed it. And I think it might be, it's Blackberry again. So.
What do you think he can do here, Hamish? Obviously seen a fair bit of footy this year, mate. Do you think he's a chance to kick this goal?
Oh, he's their former captain. He's a class player. He probably thought he was done playing up forward. He's getting some more time in the midfield, but yeah, I reckon with his talent, he might be looking at his second goal today.
He comes around the corner. He has given that a fair roost, but it's failed to go through the big sticks, and that's the first behind of this game. Launceston currently lead the game 1-1-7 to Clarence yet to score. We are 9 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Probably put a bit of moss on him there, but Launceston looking the goods so far, and they contested outside on the wing, but Clarence, it was Pre-Shaw he tried to get the ball, but Launceston had possession again, but really good pressure from Clarence, pressuring them everywhere. It was Jackson who got the handball out. Auckland, the big man, now in fault, but once again, a sea of Clarence players are there to meet him.
Jamison House is taken down by, as you just said, a sea of Clarence players, and it's a fairly big boy, so there's no wonder it took 2 or 3 blokes to get him on the ground.
Yeah, really impressed with the tackling pressure from Clarence so far.
Ball goes up in the middle, no one really jumps at it, the ball falls to ground and it's play on. We've got a sea of players on the bottom of this pack and it's going to be a ball up again. It's very scrappy contest once it gets into the centre of this ground. It only really looks like it's going to be a bit free-flowing when Lonnie are able to get that ball inside 50. Ball goes up in the centre of the ground. Clarence looked to get it out, but we've got a Launceston player on the bottom of the pack. He's up on his knees now and we've got another ball up. It's very stop-start here, isn't it, Hamish?
Yeah, I feel like we're repeating ourselves, but it is what's happening out there. Looks like Auckland and Bailey to contest it again. Auckland gets the palm down again, but once again a sea of players, and it's Bailey, the ruckman, who gets the hands
pick
out.
up.
Blackberry involved again, the only goal kicker so far in this match. Pat contest, and who else but Harper to finally get the ball out there.
He kicks to Jamison House on the half-forward line. He's tackled straight away by a young Clarence player and Jeremy Whippley. And I thought it might have been holding the ball, but it's going to be a ball up. So Auckland and Bailey contest again. Auckland wins a tap that time. He gets a tap down, but it goes straight to James Holmes, who Shank kicks it, but it's only gone so far. Jeremy Whippley looks to run that one tactically out of bounds.
Seems to be playing a bit further up the ground today, Whippley, usually a high half-forward.
Yeah, I thought obviously he's played the fair bit of the season so far in the forward line, so I was interested. I thought he might have played half forward, and a guy like Jared Dakin might have got a roll on him in the forward line. It looks like he wants that experience heading the back line just to curtail the Launceston dangerous forward line. So Holmes gets a kick out of the centre clearance, kicks up. Soft bump, but it's gone out of bounds. Throw in again.
Just quickly there, it looks like Dakin is on Ethan Jackson at the moment, so
another dangerous player.
Yeah, tough job for the young player, getting probably the informed tagging the competition as Wright and Bailey go at it again. And Auckland, and he actually got a pretty uncontested tap there, but the ball's gone out of bounds once again.
A guy like probably Dakin, you guess if Jones or Oliver Davis were probably playing today, he probably would have got a roll on one of those two guys as Clarence's two most dangerous midfielders, but obviously he's got a different role today, and hopefully he can perform that role, and Mitch Thorpe will be happy with him come the final siren. Had a throw in now on the half-forward line, and Launceston player in Holt has tackled Clarence player to the ground, and we've got another ball up just on the half-forward line for Launceston. So we've got a throw up here. Bailey and Auckland contest again. Auckland's probably lucky not to get a free kick there. Kicks out. Clarence looked to get it out through Darcy Gardner, the youngster in for his first game. He kicks wide. We've got Luke Swinton, the recruit from Windsor Park. He kicks inside for their second 450 entry of the day. But it's all Launceston, it looks like. Chris Neild's there. Can't miss him with that bleach blonde hair. And we've got a free kick, it looks like, to Launceston. Neil, not sure what that was for, but Neil's given away the free kick.
Also looks like Stuart Williams in the side today, one of the emergencies, so he's coming for Launceston today as they get it outside their forward 50. Right flies but can't take the mark, but Launceston still surging the ball up the ground, but
cut off there.
Wiley.
Kicks inside to Webley. Webley goes to the half-forward line. He's found a player in Darcy Gardner again, and they're gone to their most dangerous forward in Josh Green, the former AFL star. He looks like number 13, Ryan Tyrrell, might have the role on Josh Green today, so it's going to be a fairly entertaining battle, that one.
Yeah, best game since returning last week, 3 goals, so definitely a tough task for Tyrrell today.
Another throw-in. It seems like I've had a lot of throw-ins in this first quarter, but umpire's thrown the ball in again. Auckland's won the tap down there. Gets it out to the big man in Harper, who kicks along that wing side of the ground, the right side of the ground at Windsor Park. We've got Clarence player in Keegan Wiley just looking to get that ball up, but he can't do it. And we've got, that's Keegan Wiley there that's kicked the ball there. He's kicked it inside of the ground to Kieran Howlett, who's gone the handball. And we've got the run with play here in Sam Banks, who centres it into the ground to Josh Green. He takes a mark just on the centre half forward. Kicks inside, and he's found a free Clarence player, and they've got their first mark inside 50 for their first shot at goal.
That was actually a really good passage of play, but while Launceston have been the team on top, that was probably the cleanest bit of ball movement we've seen, especially from the young side, just some really smart kicks to set up the goal.
Yeah, the link up there from Sam Banks just to beat that link up player through the middle of the ground and get that handball over the top really opened the game up, and Josh Green was in a prime position just to mark that on the 450 and kick it in. And we've got a Clarence player now just struggling to see who it is, but he's had a shot for goal. Looks like he might have put that one through. No, he's missed. So Clarence get their first score on the board with 14 minutes gone, just approaching time on in the first quarter.
While they didn't get a goal, I reckon Jeremy Weberley would be really happy with that passage of play. If they can keep producing that, then they're a chance today.
Launceston get a kick out through power for him, and he looks for Harper, who's taken a good solid grab, and that could be 50. No, so he kicks up the green. He's gone the far side of the ground over to Alec Wright. Can't take the mark there. He's tackled immediately by two Lonnie players, and Grant Holt's probably been taken high there, but he hasn't got the free kick. But he might have got one there with a push in the back, so the umpires are gifted him one eventually.
Yeah, of course, the inclusion today for Bristow, and been involved a bit today, a bit further up the ground. He looks to send the ball inside 50. Pack flies, and oh, what a mark from Riley.
Who else but Dylan Riley? That's why he's leading the Hudson Mill at the minute, and he's probably the most dangerous forward in the competition. Not probably, he is definitely the most dangerous forward in the competition.
And this would be every Clarence fan's nightmare if he's able to get one on the board early in the first quarter, because we saw it took him until the third quarter last week to get a goal, but he got 4 strolls in. You'd think a class player like him would get the goal from here, but it's a bit to the right, so a bit surprising there.
Yeah. Obviously, you just said there, Hamish, he really broke that game open last week in the third quarter against North Hobart, where he kicked 4 goals, I think, in the space of about 10 to 15 minutes. So he's definitely a player that Clarence will be hoping doesn't kick straight today. So Keegan Wiley gets the ball, he kicks it out of the defensive 50 now. He goes to the far side of the ground, and it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, so just a 7-point advantage to Launceston here. 1 goal, 1-8 to Clarence, just the one behind. So very tight contest here at Windsor Park as we've ended time on for the quarter.
I think the Roos will be pretty happy with this start. Obviously, Lonnie have had a fair bit of inside 50, and they've able to limit them to just the one major. So no doubt Jeremy Webley will be pretty happy with the start here from his men. He had a throw in, and the ball's on the bottom of a pack here with a number of players, and it looks like we're going to have another throw up. So we're just ticking over the 16-minute mark here in the first quarter, and the ball has gone up again. Auckland's won it down. It seems like he's winning a fair bit of the ruck taps in this first quarter. Clarence are able to manage the ball forward. They're tackled immediately, but it's strength in numbers there, and they're able to get the ball forward again, but it's come ping-pong style back up to the other side of the half-forward flank for Clarence. And the big man in Bailey has gotten to all fours, and he's tried to get that one in, but it's tumbled over the line for another boundary throw-in. Umpires have had his work cut out for today on that side of the ground, Hamish.
Yeah, definitely. Can't imagine there's too much time left this stage in the quarter. Looks like
it's Bev.
Yeah, the Bev show, of course, called the game very well last week.
Jumped from the commentary box to the boundary line this week. So Bev throws it in, and it looks like Auckland's won that tap down again. He tries to pick the ball up. Once it's fallen on the ground, but he gets tackled immediately. We've got 4 or 5 players in the bottom of the pack. It looks like it could come out. Bailey picks the ball up. He's tackled immediately by Casey Brown, and Casey Brown's got him on the ground, and we're going to have another ball up.
I think he's been well beaten in the ruck battle at the moment, but Bailey, just some really solid work around the ground, posing his body there.
His follow-up efforts have been pretty good, even though he has been, as you just said, been beaten in that ruck duel so far.
And we saw that again with Auckland, but it looks like Wiley will try and get the ball out, and this Clarence defence has been really stout with getting the ball outside of their defensive 50. They could have an opportunity here. Jackson sends it forward, but Launceston player waiting there, and they might have a chance to go. Probably only a couple minutes left for this quarter.
He kicks out to Brody Powerfrey, just on the wing on the far side of Windsor Park. He's looking for an option inside that forward 50 for Launceston. I think it'd be after Thorpe or Riley, and it's a good grab there by, got a bit of dirt on the back, so we can't really see the number, but it looks like it might be Baker Smith for Clarence. He kicks inside to James Holmes, who gives it off to his coach in Jeremy Webley, who kicks a bit of a shank kick forward. It's worked out pretty well for Josh Green, the former AFL player. Kicks inside 50, and he's looking there for number 2 in Wade Wall. Wade Wall's gone to ground. It's kind of legged the defender, and yep, that's definitely going to be a free kick there to Jake Smith.
looks like another late inclusion into the game. Wade Wall probably there to maybe create a contest inside forward 50.
Yeah, he's obviously a big man, and hopefully he can create a target up there for Clarence when that ball goes inside 50, but he probably need a bit better entry there from Josh Green. So Lonnie have the ball through Jay Blackberry on the back flank. He kicks forward. We've got a loose ball here. It looks like it's going to tumble over the boundary line with 19 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Yeah, yet another boundary throwing. I reckon Lonnie maybe just need to get a bit more dominance from Auckland's
ruck taps.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of clean ball in this game so far. As you said before, the cleanest ball we probably had was that Clarence shot inside 50 that generated their first scoring opportunity. So we'll be looking at a bit more clean ball hopefully throughout the game as the ground dries up. We've got Launceston in the centre of the ground here. Could have been taken high there, but the umpire's called play on. Clarence have got a player on the ground there, but Kieran Howlett picks it up. He gets it off to Holmes, who kicks wide, and it's marked there taken by Jared Harper. He's looking for Wade Wall to break free from that hold, and he's got Wall in his eyesight. Wall looks up, and he's cut off there by the Launceston defender, but Josh Green kicks the ball off the ground inside 50, looking for Neild, and Neild's gone off the ground, and he's kicked it behind. So that is Clarence 0-2-2 to Launceston 1-2-8 with 20 minutes gone in the first quarter. We've got a kick out now from fullback that he's found. We've got Casey Brown in the back flank there. So Lonnie will probably just look to control this ball just as we approach the end of this first quarter, and I'm sure they probably could be 2 or 3 goals up considering the amount of ball they had inside forward 50 in that first 5 to 10 minutes. So it'll obviously be something that I'll look to rectify in that second quarter with the amount of ball that they have been getting inside 50.
Yeah, definitely, but Launceston might have a late chance at goals here. They do set it inside forward 50.
Umpire calls play on there.
Yeah, I thought House might have had the mark there, but a chance for Clarence at the moment as Harper gets it, sends it forward, tries to collect the ball there, and it looks like it's a siren there. So at quarter time, it is Launceston 1-2-8 to Clarence, just the 2 behinds at the moment, so only a goal the difference here.
Very scrappy contest in that first quarter. I'm sure Clarence will be pretty happy considering the amount of ball that Launceston had inside 50 in that first quarter, especially in that first 5 to 10 minutes. I think that Jeremy Webley and the coaching staff at Clarence will be very happy that they only see themselves as a single goal down so far. Jay Blackberry obviously was the man to get the goal on the board there, but Clarence, obviously Hamish, they'd be pretty happy with that start, you think?
Yeah, and I think especially in the latter half of the term, just some of their ball movement was a lot more positive, I thought. We actually said they probably got the cleanest play of the game, which set up one of those 2 behinds. So I think there's a lot that Jeremy Weberley can take at the quarter-time huddle just to give some encouragement to his team.
And as we said, probably that ruck battle pre-game was going to be a big factor in who was to win this game, and so far Tim Auckland's probably got the better of Ryan Bailey, but as we said, Ryan Bailey's been pretty solid in his second and third efforts when that ball comes to ground.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You usually look to your ruckman to win the taps, but Ryan Bailey probably being one of their best, I guess you could say, midfielders around the contest at the moment, even though he's not winning the taps. Just some really good follow-up efforts, but as you mentioned, Auckland are the more dominant man, but maybe Launceston just not taking full advantage of his hit-outs at the moment.
And Clarence would be pretty happy to keep the dangerous forward duo of Mitch Thorpe and Dylan Riley goalless in that first quarter.
Yeah, definitely. We saw Riley take that really good mark and thought, oh, here we go, but missed the set shot and goal, and apart from that, they haven't really given them too many opportunities at goal at the moment.
Keegan Wiley, he was pretty solid in that first quarter off half-back, I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was really good, and the same could probably apply to a lot of the Clarence backline because they were definitely put under the pump quite a bit during the game, but just really stood firm, able to rebound the ball out of their defensive 50.
As we said, Josh Green played his best game for Clarence on return last week, and he looked pretty dangerous when that ball was able to get past that midfield line and work its way into the Clarence forward 50.
Yeah, definitely. He's actually playing a bit further up the ground, like not heading into the midfield, but just kind of that centre half forward line. I think he kind of set up a few of their opportunities inside goal. So I reckon Jeremy Weberley would be really glad to see that, especially as he's one of the more experienced players in the side today with some of their players like their captain out today.
What do you think the message would be from Mitch Thorpe? Obviously, as we just spoke about, they have a lot of ball inside 50, haven't been able to register more than 1 goal on the scoreboard. What do you think his message would be to the group at quarter time?
I reckon, like, even though they're a pretty contested team, just try to get some more free-flowing ball movement, because it seems like whenever they get a ball, there's a Clarence player there to tackle them, which, as we touched on before, Clarence have the best tackling numbers in the league. So I guess just trying to get a bit free maybe in that midfield area, because like if you get a bit more time, it might set up some more fluid entries inside forward 50 and give them some better avenues at goal.
Yeah, I think Lonnie ranked first in the comp for marks inside 50, but with the amount of scrappy ball that they've had, they haven't really been able to take too many marks inside 50 other than that one that Dylan Riley took that got them the shot at goal. So I think that'd be an area where Mitch Thorpe will probably be telling his guys, just, if we get clean ball in that midfield, just to settle down, look for an option, and let's hit a target inside 50.
Yeah, and they definitely back themselves in, because much like in the midfield, there's ball for choice inside the forward line. You've got the two talls in right and, of course, Thorpe, but we know the form Riley's in, 16 goals for the season, double the most of the next player closest to him on the Hudson medal. So I reckon they'll probably try to set him up a bit, and also Jake Hines has also been really handy this season, coming from the Neathel with 8 goals for the year.
Yeah, you just mentioned Alec Wright. He was pretty dangerous in that first 10 minutes. He looked like he was the guy that was kind of that link-up chain between the midfield group and the half-forward line for Launceston.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the advantage of having guys like Riley and Thorpe in the forward line, is it means that he's actually able to head up the ground a bit more. Obviously, key position size, but he's very athletic for his size and a really great link-up player for them, and they might kind of try and utilise him a bit more, maybe just to get that mark on the forward 50 to try and set themselves up a bit better towards goal.
Turn our attention to Clarence. What do you think Jeremy's message would be at the break, mate? And what do you think they're looking to get on top in this second quarter?
Well, I guess the main thing you'd be looking for is a bit of scoreboard pressure. Obviously, there's only one goal for the game, and he'd be pretty happy they're only a goal behind at quarter time. But I reckon if they can just kind of replicate some of that freer flowing ball movement they had towards the end of the term, that would set them up really well, because it was probably the best look at goal that any team got for the quarter, just in terms of setting up their forward line. So I reckon a lot of positive reinforcement, but just kind of looking to see if they're able to get a few more goals on the board.
How have you seen Clarence's midfield collective in that first quarter? Obviously they're missing their two probably best midfielders in Brady Jones and Ollie Davis. How do you think they matched up against that pretty dangerous Launceston midfield group?
I thought they did really well. It was definitely something we were concerned about heading into the game, but I think it was just their pressure that really stood out to me.
That tackle pressure. Yeah, definitely. So as we just said, Clarence are obviously just a single major behind, and as the coaches run off the ground, we're obviously looking to get action back underway here at Windsor Park. And Launceston, obviously, as we spoke about, looks like Mitch Thorpe might not be out there.
Yeah.
Looks like he might have been laid out for this game.
Yeah, I did think he was a bit quiet in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's not the first time he's pulled himself out to coach from the sidelines. He did that against North Lonnie. Sometimes if he feels just to free up the forward line a bit more. So it'd be interesting to see if that's injury related or just purely team and structure based in the forward line. Yeah,
obviously we spoke about he was a bit quiet in that first quarter. Obviously we weren't aware of any laid outs from Launceston, so we do apologise for that one. But obviously Mitch Thorpe, the Launceston coach, is laid out of this game. So Dylan Riley and potentially Alec Wright will be the two mainstay forwards that Lonnie will look to get on the scoreboard in this second quarter. As we just wait now for the umpire to begin proceedings in the middle of the ground. Obviously, don't see many players walking around the 90 on the back, do you, Hamish, with Tim Auckland?
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see if there's a bit more pressure for them to get a bit more for ball as ball's thrown up for this quarter.
So Auckland wins a tap down. Lonnie get clearance through Jay Blackery. He kicks to centre half forward. But the mark is almost taken by Clarence, but it's spilled. Umpire calls play on there. We've got a loose ball on the half forward line. It is taken out there by Sam Banks, who's had a pretty good start to this game. And Clint Riley is immediately tackled as he grabs possession by Dylan Riley.
Still surprised by seeing Mitch Thorpe out, but as I touched on earlier, against North Lonnie, the reigning premiers, he actually voluntarily took himself out for the forward line. So interesting to see if he's done that again as Auckland gets a tap down. Harper there, dodges one player, sends it inside forward 50. Is there someone for him? And there is.
Mark has been taken by number 21 in Jake Hines. So it's their second mark inside 50.
He's been in really good form, of course. Down from the Neathel, 8 goals for the season, which sees him equal second in the Hudson medal. And I think just a really good compliment for their forward line this season to go along with Dylan Riley.
Jake Hines comes in, he's probably about 40 metres out from goal. He comes in, the direct run up, looks good off the boot, and he's hit the post. So that is the third behind for Launceston in this game. They lead 1-3-9 to Clarence 0-2-2. Kick out now from Clarence's back 50. Webley's taken it just in the back pocket. Short little chip kick there out of full back. He's looking for an option. He assesses his options, kicks wide, and Harper's taken the mark just inside the line there. So he's not sure where he wants to go to here. I think he's just going to load up and kick along that wing position, which is exactly what he's done. He's looking for Bailey. He goes up with one hand. He's not able to take that one down. Kieran Howlett goes to ground, taps it forward to Josh Green. The Clarence players immediately tackled there. They're able to clear this one out through Miller Hodge. Clarence are able to get that rebound off the half-forward line. It looks like we might have another ball up. Scrappy ball, but it looks like it's going to come out here. Quick kick by Launceston. Mark taken there by James Gillow, who's another laid in. Looks like it might be a free kick there to Gillow. Push in the back. No, maybe holding the ball. Webley's got it.
Yeah, well, I thought we were seeing a bit of free ball movement at the start, but it's returned to pretty scrappy affairs. Webley's kick smothered. It might open up an opportunity for the Blues. It's Seymour in there. What's he dispossessed off the ball? Umpire said no. Webley has it again. Hands it out to Jackson, but it goes over the line. So once again, a pretty scrappy affair to start this first second quarter after the shot on goal from Jake Hines.
Very scrappy start, but I'm sure as this game goes on, things will open up and we might get a look at Launceston's best. So the ball comes in, Auckland wins it down again. Harper's immediately dispossessed by Clint Riley, and we've got another boundary throw-in.
Yeah, I think you said earlier the umpires are getting a bit of good practice with their bowling skills, but just really interested to see if the class of this Launceston midfield is able to break the game open.
Auckland wins the tap down again. He's definitely had the better of Bailey so far, and Clarence's tackle pressure, obviously, as we said, they're first in the competition in tackles for a reason, and their tackle pressure today against this really classy Launceston midfield is probably what's keeping them in this game so far.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Auckland and Bailey to contest the ruck again, and once again Auckland gets the palm down. Harper hunting the ball, but he's sieged by a bunch of Clarence players. Might have been in the back, but the umpire didn't play it. Jackson applying the additional tackle on Dakin, and we're set for another ball up.
And as we just spoke about, the tackle pressure is just through the roof. And I'm sure if there was a pressure gauge on this game, it'd probably be in the elite standard from Clarence, considering the amount of times that Lonnie have won clearance through Auckland, and then they're immediately just tackled no matter who gets the ball by. It's usually one or two Clarence midfielders. Yeah,
unfortunately you don't have the Fox Footy Lab or whatever you call it to send you the stats, but it's just clear to the eye their pressure's been immense so far as Auckland and Bailey go at it once again. And it looks like Bailey actually got the hand there, but Launceston applying the pressure now. Harper quick kick out to no one in particular. Two players flat the contest. It's Alec Wright, handball over to the top to Hines. Got the hands free there, and Clarence looks like they'll get out of dodge here, but a great tackle. Is it paid? No, but Alec Wright follows up with the ball, absorbs the pressure, kicks around his body inside forward 50, but Weberley was always there to mop up the ball.
Weberley kicks across the ground now. He goes wide to Sam Banks. He's gone up the line there to the Clarence player.
Harper dodging around, and it looks like he's going to set the ball inside 50. Just falls a bit short there, but he has Neil sporting the pond as we've talked about.
Chris Neal kicks inside 50 now. He's looking for a target there. Can't find one. The ball's come to ground. Sam Green's the closest Clarence player to it. He's looked to get that one off, but he's under immense pressure from that Launceston defence. Josh Green's got a quick kick out there, and almost a goal there. James Holmes, has tried to take a mark on the line, but great defence there from Jared Dakin, and it's behind to Clarence. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between James Holmes and Ethan Jackson. I mean, Ethan, they're both sporting the long blonde hair.
Yeah, they need to be a bit more like Neil, to at least have the kind of fluoro colouring there for the benefit of the commentators. But Harper's just uncontested there outside of the defensive 50. He was always going to mark that.
Definitely a man you can't leave uncontested to take a grab in the back 50, that's for sure. So he kicks, scrappy kick out to Jack Donnellan. He's brought it back inside 50, but he's Launceston players immediately under pressure from Clarence. Brody Proutham's looking for an option here. He's almost tackled, but he manages to get the ball to his hands there. Quick kick up the ground from Launceston. Clarence have managed to work this out well, and they're looking for an option, but it's a pretty scrappy kick back up into the forward 50. Immediate the tackle pressure from both sides on the half forward and the half back flanks has really been immense so far. Clarence have managed to work this ball inside 50. It's one Clarence player against 4 though.
Darcy Gardner, young inclusion. That was a terrific follow-up effort, and he's going again.
Tackled again.
Could he be rewarded? No. Looks like Miller Hodge is going to get out, and
Chris Neal with a great tackle there. Not rewarded though. Giving the Launceston player a bit after the fact. Josh Green probably unlucky not to get free kick for pushing the back there, but it's play on. It looks like it might be another ball up here.
Yeah, those follow-up efforts from Darcy Gardner, I reckon that's something Jeremy Webberley will point at the footage during the week. That was a fantastic effort from such a young player.
It's all you want from a young guy coming in for his first game, is just to put that forward pressure on, and hopefully he gets rewarded with it at some point during the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a ball up now. Yep, we'll have a ball up here just on the half forward flank for Clarence, and no doubt we'd like Clarence to get on the scoreboard soon to put some real tension in this game. So Auckland wins the tap out again, and Joby Harper with a long bomb up the far side of Windsor Park, but Zach Bushner's got a long kick out there. It's immediately cut off there by Jacob Boyd. So Boyd elects to kick to the commentary side of the ground, and he's found number 18 in Jake Smith. He's just going to settle play here and look for an option.
Very steady and force down back. I reckon probably being their best defender in a pretty team-orientated defence. Pack flies, but Hines isn't able to pull down the mark, and it looks like we're set for another boundary throwing on this left wing of the ground.
So we spoke about just at the start of this quarter, obviously Mitch Thorpe's come out of this forward line. What do you think that does to the forward line group of Launceston? Do you think that makes them a bit more dangerous when the ball goes inside 50, or obviously Thorpe's a pretty special guy, and do you need a guy of his calibre to register a few goals on the board?
I think it will be pretty interesting to see, but we'll just look at what Clarence do there. But great tackle from Tuthill, immediately took on the Launceston player. But getting back to your point, one of the reasons I like Thorpe in there is, even though he got goals the last 2 weeks, he's just such a target. It allows for guys like Riley, Hines and Wright to be freed up. So a bit of an interesting decision if it wasn't injury related.
For sure. So we've got a ball up here. Joby Harper is immediately tackled by 2 Clarence players there. Bit of push and shove here, but nothing really eventuates there from Jacob Boyd. So we've got a ball up here. Bailey looks like he's won that down with a double tap. So he's finally got his hands on the ball there against Auckland. Got a scrappy contest here. A tackle there from the Clarence player. As we said, that tackle pressure's through the roof. Number 27 for Launceston's picked the ball up there. He's under immense pressure. Great tackle over the line here from Ethan Jackson on the dangerous Joby Harper.
Jamison House just worried out of the ball, but been good this season. I recruited as a midfielder, but he's been their centre half back this year, so good effort from him. Looks like Bailey got his hands to the ball again. Jackson neat toe poke, but it's straight to the Launceston player, and the ball goes out again on this left wing. But I feel like Bailey just, in the last couple of minutes, getting a few more taps. I reckon Clarence would be happy to see that their big man, who's had some really good follow-up efforts, starting to get a bit more on top in the ruck duel.
He's definitely worked his way into this game, that's for sure. So we've got another boundary throw in here, and as we just said, Bailey wins the tap down. He stopped there. He thought he might have heard a whistle. It's play on by the umpire. Ethan Jackson gets the ball out there. He kicks inside to the middle of the ground, looking for Sam Graham. He's unable to take the mark. Gareth Holt is a defender who kicks it back up forward for Launceston. We've got an inside 50 ball here, the dangerous Riley. Can't get clean hands on it. Zach Bushner looks like he might have got the ball away from him. Jeremy Webberley looks to smother that one. But that was almost a goal to Lonnie, but it's gone through for just a single behind.
Yeah, I was a bit worried for a second. They seemed to be letting the ball go, but Dylan Riley's second behind from the game just touched as he socketed it through.
So I'm not sure who's got the kicking out duties for Clarence today. He's decided to come to the commentary side of the ground, and it looks like it might be a free kick to Bailey. It is. So Auckland's given that one away there. So Bailey kicks up the ground. Clarence players immediately under pressure from 2 Launceston defenders, but we've got number 33, Luke Swinton, has decided to kick the ball up to Chris Neal. He handles back inside. Lonnie immediately take possession, but they're tackled again by Kieran Howlett.
Might have just been a bit too fast to move on the ball there from Neal. Obviously wanted to keep the play going, but play a bit out of place, but at the very least they have a ball up near their forward 50.
Clarence go underman in that ruck duel. Auckland wins it down. Keeps it in play there, but it might have come off the shin there of the Clarence player. No, it's going to be a throw-in again.
Yeah, it looks like it's being called back. Definitely, and it's being called back to where Blackberry took it out. So still near Clarence's forward 50 as we enter the latter stages of this term.
Got Bailey and Auckland again in the ruck. Auckland wins the tap down. Tries to get it out there, but Clarence are all over this ball. Knocked forward by Ethan Jackson. We've got the Launceston defender there. He kicks the ball up towards the wing and it's off hands, out of bounds.
Being very impressed by Ethan Jackson, considering that Dakin's gone to him a lot today. Shut down a lot of good players like Taylor Whitford this season, so for the young man to stand up how he's doing, a very big tick.
Definitely one of Clarence's better performers so far in this game. So we've got another boundary throw in here again. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot today, but the ball's gone out a fair bit in this game. Quick kick by Clarence to the half-forward line, but to the Launceston forward line, and Dylan Riley gets it out to Joby Harper there, who kicks inside 50. Holt's there, but he can't win that ball down, but his second effort there to tackle was really good. And we've got another ball up inside the forward 50. Pretty scrappy second quarter here again, Hamish.
Yeah, definitely. No goals so far. Just about to get 13 minutes in, so probably not much time left. But in a low-scoring game, if one of these teams can pick one, it would be big as Bailey gets the hands down. Players go out at the ball. Looks like Luke Swinton tried to get it, but just lost the ball. Dangerous territory for Clarence just near Launceston's forward 50, and it looks like we'll get another ball up, which will probably suit the Blues.
Much scoreboard pressure from either side in this second quarter. We went into this game thinking it might be a very high-scoring affair, but not so far today. So the ball goes up in the middle. Auckland probably wins that one down. Joby Harper gets it out. Quick handball there to number 15 in Tyson Miller. He kicks inside forward of the dangerous Harper, but it's a great spoil by the Clarence defender there. The ball's still inside 50, and again, that tackle pressure from Clarence is just through the roof there. And when you've got your coach in Jeremy Webley leading from the front like that, it shows that it's a complete buy-in from the whole team. Yeah,
just gan tackle pressure there, and also Zach Bruchner, a really good spoil there. He's been one of their best players for the season so far, but still in Launceston's forward 50.
Ball goes back into play. The Lonnie player slips over there, and then the Clarence player is immediately tackled. But Blackberry kicks inside 50, but it's to no one in particular, and the ball comes straight back out, and we've got a pack form. Harper gets up to Blackberry. He swings the ball back inside 50. Pretty scrappy contest here at the moment. No one real clean ball. But Holt with the short little chip inside 50. Found Jeremy Webley.
It looks like it's been paid a free here.
Probably a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, I guess he did make some contact to the body. But I think he did contest well, but it looks like Gillo, who is one of the late inclusions today, has an opportunity to kick only the second goal today.
James Gillo, a young man, trying to cement his spot within this pretty dangerous Launceston group. So he's going to have a shot from just on 50. He works it left to right, and he might have done enough to get that one through. Just falls short for another behind. So Lonnie, again, looking pretty dangerous whenever that ball goes inside 50, Hamish.
Definitely are, but a bit of a problem for them this season has been more behinds than goals in some of their games. So I definitely reckon Mitch Fort would be a bit frustrated by that. Almost got the 50 there, but it looks like Clarence will bring their ball outside a defensive 50. Heads up the ground, and they could be out here. Sends the ball towards Josh Green, takes a nice chest mark on the ground. Handballs it through to Banks.
Run and gun bit of play there from Banks as he did in that first quarter, but Wade Wall and Chris Neal, the two big targets in the forward line, didn't really have a shot at that ball.
Yeah, and Bailey took a really strong contested mark there.
So Lonnie are going to work this one out just as we enter time on in the second quarter. They'll look to get this one out to the far side of the ground through Holt. Holt takes the mark. looking for an option in the centre of the ground, and he might have just found one in Joby Harper. And those strong hands of the big midfield bull have taken a solid grab.
Risky kick, but this late in the quarter, you reckon they'll have to take the game on a bit if they want to put another goal on the board?
Yeah, I feel like Mitch Thorpe up in the coach's box might want another major on the board just to give them a bit of leeway going into the second half. So we've got Jake Hines here. He has got the ball and he looks to drive this one inside 50, but the Launceston player in right's outnumbered by 2 Clarence defenders, and as soon as he picks that ball up off the ground, he's immediately tackled again. He gets the ball again, Alec Wright, but again, he's just pressured, tackled by 3 or 4 Clarence players.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be directive. Like, whenever anyone in blue gets it, there's someone
just
there in red, just to get it. And it's paid dividends so far.
Definitely kept them in this game. So, Clarence looked to get this one out of the back 50. Jeremy Webley's the player there to do it, but he's immediately tackled by number 15 in Tyson Miller, and the ball's gone over the boundary line again.
I think the interesting thing with Webley is he spent a lot of time down back as well this game. We thought he might be more in the midfield, but also looks to be going down back quite a lot to help out his young back line.
He's only kicked the 4 goals this year, but he's probably been one of the most dangerous forwards, so it's an interesting tactic, but it's probably working in their favour at the minute as Brody Powerfin looks to get this one out, but it's immediately cut off by the Clarence player. He's kicked it out to number 25 in Stuart Williams, and he gets it out. He's got it again, Williams. Pretty little scrubby kick to half forward. Clarence looked to get it through Webley, and he's tried to shrug Miller off again there, and ball's gone out. It might be a free kick to Jeremy Webley for a high tackle. Yeah,
he felt he was probably owed one earlier for infringing on in the mark contest with Gillow, so probably feels pretty good about getting that one. Sends it forward. Said his teammate a bit of a task, and it might be deadly here. Holt sends it in. Looks like it was Gillow there again, but just couldn't take the mark. And
James Holmes probably a bit unlucky not to be given a free kick. Brody Powerfin's got this one. He's a dangerous player. Kicks towards goal. It's a bit of a shank kick, but doesn't really worry the goal umpire, and it's Clarence defender taking the mark in the back 50.
Yeah, being put under a bit of pressure, but they're holding up well, Clarence, as Wall gets through there. Wall gets the ball again, but he's met there by the Launceston player. They appeal, and it is holding the ball, and it's the captain, Harper. So if you needed someone to lift your team and potentially get a goal, you definitely point to your captain straight away.
Definitely back him from here. I think he's got a booming boot on him, and he's a big man, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to try and have a punt here, but he might not. He's giving it a roost. I think he's looking for a target inside 50. He's found one, but the double grab hasn't been paid. He might not have had first hands on that. He's again tackled over the line by the Clarence players.
Yeah, can't imagine much time left here, but Clarence kind of just holding on at the moment, haven't conceded a goal, but ball repeatedly going inside their defensive 50, and they're holding up well, but Launceston just keep getting repeat entries.
Ball gets thrown in here by the umpire, punched down by the Clarence ruckman. It wasn't Bailey that time.
Oh, I think it's Green.
Green, thanks mate. Powerfin gets immediately tackled again by Clarence, and the message I think from Jeremy Webley at half-time will be, even though we haven't been able to register a goal yet, if they're not in the second quarter, the tackle pressure's just been through the roof from Clarence, and that's definitely an aspect of this game they're winning.
Yeah, definitely 7 points. You take that any day of the week, no matter the score, and it looks like the ball's stopped here.
Whistle might have been blown, and I think it's half-time. It is half-time, so we go into this contest with Launceston in the lead 1-5-11 to Clarence 0-4-4. And as we just spoke about then, and there's no doubt that despite Clarence unable to register a goal in that first half, their tackle pressure's been really good. Whenever they get the ball inside, whenever Launceston get the ball inside that forward 50, there's immediate tackle pressure, so that's something that has been a real calibre of their game this year in Clarence, and there's no doubt that's something that generally we will talk about, that if they keep that tackle pressure up in the second half, the game might open up for them. They can eventually get on the board and give Launceston a real scare.
Yeah, you're definitely right. So at the moment, it's only 1 goal, 5-11. Jay Blackberry, the only goal kicker there, to Clarence, 0 goals and 3 behind. So only 7 points of difference. I'm sure, as you said, while Jeremy Webley would wish they had at least a goal on the board. 7 points down at half-time against the ladder leaders. You take that any day of the week.
So we see Mitch Thorpe there walking across the ground to go into the rooms at half-time. What do you think his message to the players would be at half-time?
Well, I think I'd be a bit frustrated because I think by and large they've been the better team in terms of getting their hands to the ball, but it just feels like any time they send the ball inside 50, it's a lot of effort or it's a very quick, scrappy kick. They haven't really had those clean entries to set up the likes of Riley and Wright and Hines, and unfortunately the couple opportunities that Hines and Riley did get, they weren't able to convert, so probably looking to try and reverse that goal behind. Tallying the second half, just the one goal, but 5 behinds, and a couple of those shots were gettable.
We spoke pre-game and at quarter time about that midfield group of Launceston. Probably Joby Harper, the informed player in the comp, he's probably been the best at that bunch.
Yeah, I'd say so, and he hasn't been bad in the last 2 weeks, but he kind of gone from that best player in the comp kind of form to I guess just being a mere mortal among his fellow players. But yeah, I think he's been the standout in that Launceston midfield so far.
And Jared Dakins had the role on Ethan Jackson, probably Clarence's most dangerous midfielder going into the game. How have you seen that matchup?
I think it's been a pretty interesting matchup so far at the moment, and I think Jackson, considering the job that Dakin's done on players like Taylor Whitford before, where he's completely shut them down, I think he's been one of Clarence's better players, which is a credit to him because a lot more senior players than him have been shut down by young Dakin, who's had a really good season so far.
Yep, spot on. So, as we just said, guys, the score here at Windsor Park is 1-5-11 Launceston, with Jay Blackberry, the single goal scorer, to Clarence 0-3-3, and we'll be back with you for the second half.
She's going. Always was. Ugliest man alive.
Yeah. He used to hold guns and when you think about this back then,
The one thing he has, but the one thing he has, no, we were talking about. How talking about someone should go late. He should go somewhere better.
He married a girl for a month.
Yeah, you can headbutt something. About time. I'll see you after me tomorrow night.
What? He won't see the street lights come on.
I think he said something about exactly on his phone.
Saying that, boy, she was
Stay out.
out. Listen, she was pretty good.
we can sit here and look. This far apart.
Yeah. Oh, the others are going to arcade today. Joking, don't even let that go. The town pub. Jake came over.
That's where we
He'll tell you. 30 of them, fuck.
You've got to get
Jake, no good.
Look what Bert Newton with glasses on.
You seen that big club? Would he come on? As your mates do. Spewing.
Apparently that's what happens when you drink big boy. Hasn't happened with you, right?
You can do that at 44.
Yeah, ice cube. I don't want to take it, right? No, I know yours will be the worst.
He goes to the rough. What's wrong with that
He's doing good, right?
Go, boy! We're talking about and the last.
Welcome back to Windsor Park for round 6 TSL action. Launceston hosting Clarence. We've got a pretty tight contest here so far. It's Launceston leading 1-5-11 to Clarence 0-3-3. Hamish, can you just give us an around the grounds update?
Yeah, so we've got 2 other TSL games going on in the state at the moment. We'll start with Glenorchy against North Hobart, which is almost over. And Glenorchy, they'll cause an upset today. It's currently 50-26 in their favour. So a bit of a surprise there. Looks like they're headed towards a 4-goal win and a much-needed one, considering they're on the bottom of the ladder. Heading over to UTAS Stadium up here in Monty, North Launceston against Kimbra. It's currently half-time over there, and it's North Lonnie who have the 8-point advantage at half-time. So looks like a tight contest there like we have here at Windsor Park. And just quickly in the AFL, Brisbane are currently leading the Kangaroos by 2 points at quarter-time, 11-9.
So no matter where you're watching, there's good football all around Tasmania and the rest of the country, but it looks like pretty shocked with that result out of Glenorchy. Obviously, Glenorchy have had a very rough start to the season in terms of their injury list, but it looks like they've all clicked today, and Paul Kennedy's men have got an upset win over a pretty fancy North Hobart.
Yeah, and I wonder if Mitch Falk got the message through to his men here. Like, one of the teams, of course, North Hobart a bit above them down the ladder, just another opportunity to create some space between them and the rest of the competition.
As we said, Lonnie obviously sitting pretty on top of the ladder, undefeated, and if they can win here today, they'll head into the bye next week at the halfway mark of the season, defeating everyone. So, speak about that halfway mark of the season. How have you seen the first half of the TSL season, Hamish?
I think it's been a pretty interesting comp so far, and I guess it was the kind of phrase most people spouted last year, but I think it's particularly true this year. It's a lot more even than it has been in recent years. I mean, that was represented by what we've seen from North Hobart so far. Obviously, they're going to go down today, but they look a real finals contender. We've seen Launceston, and it looks like they've kind of emerged as a new real powerhouse of the competition, but that unblemished record they have at the moment could be a bit in trouble because they're only 7 points up against this Clarence outfit, which would give some kudos to. Probably they've been very impressive with their pressure so far.
Where do you think the game is going to be won in this second half?
I still think, I know it's a cliche, but I think the midfield battle is where it's won and lost, and just the class that Launceston have there. You have to give credit to Clarence with the pressure they've applied, but you'd have to think that when it comes kind of to the clinches late in the game, you'd back in Launceston's experience a bit more than Clarence.
They've been incredibly impressive in that midfield, obviously, as we spoke about, with Jones and Davis out, their ability to just, even though Auckland's probably winning the majority of the ruck taps, even though Bailey got himself back in the game in that second quarter, their ability to just lay that tackle pressure on Launceston as soon as that ball goes to ground has just been immense, and it's the main reason they're still in with a chance in this game.
Yeah, and I know it's a cliche, the key to winning a game is kicking more goals, but there's only been one so far, so if one of these teams can get on a bit of a roll, they could actually open up quite a handy buffer in the context of what's been a pretty low-scoring game so far.
We'd definitely like a few more goals on the board in this second half just to make it a bit more interesting, but as we just said, it's a very tight contest, and we can't complain if we've got a tight game on the TSL live stream.
Yeah, of course, Jay Blackberry, just a one-goal kicker today, got his goal early in the first quarter. No goals since then. Opportunities for both sides, and probably more so Launceston, as you can see there on the scoreboard, the five behinds. Riley and Hines had some shots on goal, but weren't able to convert. But it's mainly been a game played kind of up in the middle of the ground at the moment.
Doesn't really feel like there's a scoring end of the ground, obviously, with a one goal kicked each time the ball goes inside either team's inside 50. It really only gets to that half forward line. It doesn't really seem to be going too deep inside either team's forward 50. So obviously that'll be an area where you need your guys like Dylan Riley and Alec Wright, with Mitch Thorpe out. Once the ball gets deep inside 50, they're the guys that Lonnie would be looking to get on the scoreboard in this second half. Yeah,
and probably the same for Clarence with someone like Josh Green. Of course, we know his experience in the AFL, two-time leading goal kicker for the Brisbane Lions. Also spent 2 seasons at Essendon, so if he's able to he's been good up the ground but get some goals on the board, that would certainly swing things Clarence's way.
As you just said, he's probably played the majority of the first half up the ground, and guys like Chris Neald and Wade Wall, the two tall targets, have played deep. Wall did seem like he tried to get up the ground in that second quarter, but if Green can get dangerous in that 450 of Clarence, it'll go a long way in them giving themselves a real sniff in this second half. So we've got players just walking to position now. Looks like everyone's in place for the beginning of this third quarter at Windsor Park.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens here in the second half if one of these teams are able to break the game open. Of course, a very tight, congested game, but not raining as much as it is down south in the state, so hopefully a bit of cleaner ball movement here.
Umpires lofted the ball up. We've got Auckland kind of wins that tap down, but Bailey gives himself a contest there. Powerfully picks it up. He's jabbed a little kick to Joby Harper, who taps it forward. Holt goes off the ground there, inside 50. Dylan Riley with a quick handball. Sorry, Riley picks the ball up from the handball, and he has missed. Dylan Riley has kicked the behind there. So Dylan Riley's got 2 behinds now. So he's obviously looking dangerous inside forward 50, but he hasn't been able to get himself on the scoreboard in terms of majors so far. So Clarence go wide. Jackson goes up. He's tried to take a spectacular mark, but he can't hang on. James Holmes is leading the pack to this ball, and he's come off a boot? Yeah, I thought it had come off a boot there. So I think it's off James Holmes'
It
boot.
looks like he could be in a bit of trouble. He's just clutching at that ankle. Thankfully, gingerly heading back on the ground. Looked like it could be a bit nasty there, but Launceston send the ball up the ground. Pack flies, it looks like Wright was at the bottom but couldn't take the mark. A really strong tackle from the Launceston player, and the umpire's calling for another ball up.
Again, another pretty tight start this third quarter. If any team can break this game open, I feel like it's going to be Lonnie, but as we just said, Clarence is definitely in with a chance in this contest thanks to their tackle pressure and their work around the middle of the ground. So we've got another ball up, a pack forms. Umpire blows his whistle to stop the play on this one, and we'll have another throw up just above the half-forward line for Launceston. Ball goes up, Auckland wins that one down again. Harper gets it out, he handballs out. The Launceston midfielder in Denellen, he kicks inside 50. Riley at the back can't take the mark. Alec Wright gets the ball off the ground. James Holmes there gets a handball out. Looks like the Clarence play could have been taken in the back, but it's play on. Jay Blackberry, he has a shot at goal and he has just missed to the right.
Well, they've let a few opportunities go so far this quarter. Launceston kind of clean looks probably 15-20 metres out in front of goal, but just haven't been able to convert so far, and 7 behind to the game.
It definitely would have been handy, and as anyone knows, it's when you've got a tight game, kicking straight is going to win you a game of football, so I'm sure that'll be something that Lonnie boys will look to rectify for the rest of this contest. As Clarence kick to the far side of the ground, and it's going to be a throw-in.
Dakin getting the fist out, so all played at Lonnie's end of the ground at the moment, but kind of similar tune to the first half, just haven't been able to put the goals on the board for their reward for effort.
So the umpire is going to throw this ball in. It's going to be Wall and Auckland in the ruck. Ball kind of doesn't go to either of them, it falls to ground. We've got a scrappy ball here. Denellen kicks inside 50. Alec Wright, no, can't take a mark there. Gets back up on his feet, puts a bit of forward pressure on, but Clarence have the ball here. Great tackle there by Jack Tuthill, and we're going to have another ball up inside 50.
Maybe one thing just to look for, it looks like Wall's taking a lot of the ruck contests at the moment instead of Bailey, so it'll just be interesting to see if that continues for the rest of the quarter.
Might be something that generally swapped up. Bailey could have gone forward and brought Wade Wall up the ground to get him into the contest, but Lonnie have got this ball deep inside their forward 50. Is he going to look to get it their second major of the contest? But once again, it's going to be a ball up, and the umpire has definitely had his work cut out for him today.
Yeah, well, repeat contest inside forward 50 as Wright goes up, but it's Smith who gets a tap down in the end. Blackberry dodges one, and you think he'd be in trouble there, and he is.
He's probably lucky not to get a free kick for high there, but it was probably a bit soft. That's why the umpires let that one go, and Bailey has tackled Blackberry in the defensive 50. He kicks up towards the wing. Chris Neild is the man there that he was looking for. He can't get his hands on the ball, but Clarence have got it through Jared Harper. He handballs over the top to Oliver Preshaw, and he kicks down the line looking for Josh Green. He can't take the mark. Darcy Gardner's there, the youngster. Wade Wall gets it off the ground. Smart kick off the ground there from Wade Wall. Gardner there. He can't get the ball there from the Launceston defender in Ryan Tyrrell. The experienced head there wins. He kicks up the line looking for Jacob Boyd. He can't take the mark. Harper gets it again, but he's dispossessed off the ground by Joby Harper, and Harper's not happy with that one. Not sure what that was for. Potentially could have been a trip, but we digress. Jared Harper kicks inside 50 looking for Josh Green or Chris Neild. Should have known with those blonde locks streaming out from deep inside 50 that it was Chris Neild, but he's taken the mark inside 50.
Yeah, well, after a really good start to the quarter from Launceston where they weren't able to profit, Clarence getting a rare set shot at goal this quarter. Chris Neild, we've noticed him a lot today because of the blonde locks, but we'll see if in coming into this side if he's able to get his team's first goal for the game.
He's definitely a guy that can hit the scoreboard. We saw that last year when he was probably their best forward for the season. So Chris Neild, he comes in probably 40 out, a slight angle. He's worked that one well. It looks like it's going to go through, and he's kicked the first major of the day for Clarence. They finally get their first goal in the third quarter of this contest. 6 minutes gone. Clarence are 139 to Launceston 17-13. It's obviously an area of the game where it hasn't really been a day for tall marking forwards, but the way that Neil was able to work his way to the front of that contest there and take the mark was something I'm sure that Clarence spoke about at three-quarter time, was if they can get some clean inside 50 entries, that their tall forwards in Wade Wall and Chris Neald and Bailey, when he goes down there, will be able to take a mark and get a goal, and that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of players there which I think helped multiple options, and it fell to Neald in the end who got the goal.
So we've got Wade Wall in the ruck now. He is against Auckland, but Auckland wins that tap again. Ball goes inside. Oh, could have been a high tackle there, and it's been paid. Free kick to Clarence player number 26 in Jack Preshaw. Was taken high there by Launceston forward. He's going to get a free kick. Gets up a bit gingerly, but he's okay. He takes his kick. He kicks to the leading Clarence player, who gives off to Jeremy Weberley, the coach. He takes the ball along that wing, looks for Jared Harper, tries to shrug off one. He gets tackled by two, across the boundary line. He's probably lucky to get holding the ball. We've seen in the AFL lately that a lot of... oh, no, he has. Sorry, I was right. He's not holding the ball. I probably should have trusted my own judgment and the umpires. So Jared Harper tried to shove one. He got tackled by the second, and fair enough that was holding the ball.
Yeah, but really good mark there from Sam Green, the big man. He goes into the centre of the ground, and he's rewarded for taking the game on a bit. It goes to Barwick, who's going to send it forward.
Got a 50-metre penalty though here. It looks like the Launceston player in Stuart Williams might have encroached over the mark. Looks like he's given a 50-metre penalty, and the Clarence player in number 36, Jax Barwick, is going to have a shot from about 45 metres out.
Well, we've talked about how there haven't been too many goals today, but Clarence only got their first a couple minutes ago and could profit again and actually take the lead in this match.
It looked pretty dangerous in the first 7 minutes in this third quarter as Jax Barwick comes in from 45 out directly in front. He's going to take his best. He's put that to the top of the square, and it looks like the Launceston defender might have taken a mark or been given a free kick in. The big man in
Harper,
Harper,
captain getting back on the line. You always love to see that, but great contest created by Jackson, and it looks like it's not going to get out in a stoppage inside their forward 50. So Clarence really starting to make some ground on Launceston. It obviously wasn't a big deficit to begin with, but only 4 points of difference now.
Definitely worked their way into this contest in this third quarter as the umpire throws the ball up. Auckland wins the tap. Sorry, Joby Harper wins the tap down there. And it's going to go out of bounds again, just on the half-court flank for Clarence. I'm sure Jeremy Weber will be pretty pleased with the start here for Clarence. They're obviously weren't able to register any real scoreboard pressure in that first half, but their ability to keep the ball in their forward half of the ground here has got them their first major, and they're definitely going to look here for their second. Launceston win the ruck tap out to kick up the ground to a contest, but James Holmes is able to get the handball out. He's handballed it straight to Joby Harper, who sends a kick up the ground looking for Auckland. He can't make it. Pressure from Hangan Riley's good. Pressure there from Alec Wright's even better. He takes the Clarence defender to the ground. He might have been rewarded here. No, he hasn't been rewarded. It's a free kick for the Clarence player. I'm not too sure what that one was for. But the Clarence player, number 46 in Baker Smith, is the man there with the free kick. He's going to kick forward, and it's free. Just the umpire's trying to work out what happened here, not sure. Might not have been on his line there, so he's going to have to take his kick again, and that's probably a disadvantage for Clarence because they looked like they were open there for a second, but he'll take his kick again, Smith. He kicks up the line directly to where he did before. Auckland wins it. He handballs out. Powerfulman gets it. He's immediately tackled by the Clarence player. There's a whistle blown here.
Looks like it's going.
Gets it. So he's going to look to switch this potentially to the... No, he's not. He kicks up the line to a trusted target in Joby Harper.
Mentioned before, probably been their best midfielder. Got down back to take a really to make a really strong contest and looked to lift his team. Went under the pump a bit. Ball high. No, went for the flyer. Probably went a bit early there, but it looks like Polframan has it again. Kicks a bit wide, but it stays in ground. Riley contests, and he actually keeps the ball in. No, nuts gone.
Probably a bit stiff there. He did all he could there, Dylan Riley, to keep the ball in play. It looked like he did, but the umpires said he didn't. So it's good to see him try and work his way into the contest. He's come up the ground a bit there, but we're going to have a throw in on the half-forward flank for Launceston. Wade Wall and Tim Auckland in the ruck. Wall gets it, but he's immediately tackled by Auckland. Just drops the ball. Play on, says the umpire. Kind of a ton of ball out there, but play on.
Yeah, I think he might have been pinned from that, throw. So looks like it's Taylor to send the ball inside 50, and Launceston's first in quite a time this quarter.
Taylor sends that ball high inside 50, looking for a target. A few players go up, no one brings it down. It's come to ground. Clarence work it out through the defence. A few handballs here and there, but nothing real clean. It's a kick now up towards the wing, looking for Josh Green. He can't take the mark. He's set on by Launceston defence, and the ball goes out of play.
Sure, Jeremy Weberly would be pretty pleased to see after a bit of a cream bat for his side that Launceston finally got it back inside their forward 50, but Clarence once again pretty stout in defence, able to rebound it back out.
This might not be a high-scoring game, but it's definitely a cracker of a contest here at Windsor Park. So as the ball comes back into play, Auckland again. Seems like I'm repeating myself, but he wins it down again. Kick out, number 17 in Kieran Howlett has taken it. Play on, says the umpire. Ball comes to ground again. There's a Launceston player on the bottom of that pack. He's tackled by 2 Clarence players. It's going to be a throw-up.
Yeah, well, even though it isn't high scoring, I don't reckon many people would have predicted it would only be 4 points of difference at this stage in the middle of the third quarter. But Harper gets his hands to the ball. It's Pulverman. He snaps it up the ground. Pack flies down. It's a really, looks like a holding free. Yeah.
Looks like Jamison House is the man that's given the free kick away there. So Clarence will get a kick just on their half-back flank here.
Yeah, Baker Smith was a bit upset. I thought the free might be going against him. He just might have been upset that his good spoiler is now off the record.
He's been looked after by the umpire there with a free kick though, and he kicks towards the Clarence forward line, up the wing. Good little contest there by 2 players. Clarence get out here by number 39 in Darcy Gardner. He kicks looking for Chris Neal. Fair bit of tension there from the defender, but the umpire calls play on. Ball comes to the half forward line. Scrappy ball again. Looks like Clarence wide one out there. They have. But it's directly to number 18 in Jake Smith. He kicks wide to Brody Powerfleeman. He says, settle the play, guys.
Been very prominent so far this quarter for Launceston. Pulverman really lifted after half-time. This man, Harper's been good all game. Sets up for Alec Wright and takes a really good chest mark there.
Alec Wright looks to bring this ball towards Holt in the centre of the ground. He kicks inside 50. Looks like he might have a free man there. He does, but he can't take the mark. Immediately tackled again in that forward 50. The Launceston forward, and it's a ball up. No doubt Lonnie will be looking to score from this stoppage.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Sam Green will be in the ruck this time. I think against House. Ball goes down, but the Clarence player has it in pre-shore. He tries to
Could
break
be in
through.
trouble here. No. Umpire elects to throw the ball up again. So, again, we say Lonnie have been pretty dangerous when the ball gets inside 50, but it hasn't been a lot of clean ball, which is why Clarence are in with a shot in this game. Blackberry kicks the ball out of the pack. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. And it's just touched by Bailey on the line. Geez, I thought that could have been a pretty miraculous goal there from Blackberry, but Jason Bailey, has just got the fingertip on that one on the line as Jeremy Webley looks to kick this ball out of the back 50. He kicks up to Chris Neal, doesn't take the mark, falls to ground immediately, tackled by Wright. He gets the ball towards number 20. Powerfleeman's there, he runs inside 50, takes on 3, gets around it, doesn't take a bounce. He kicks towards goal. It's not really a great kick and the ball's going to go. Still in play? No. It's over the line. Probably didn't get all he wanted there, Powerfleeman. He did everything right other than the kick.
Probably entitled to have a shot there, especially after he got rid of 3 players. We're talking probably goal of the round there if he'd managed to send it through. Probably a bit too unselfish there, looking to set up his teammate.
Very unselfish there. So ball comes back in. Lonnie looked at a clearance, but they can't get one. Ball's on the ground. Clarence get a handball up. Quick kick out there, but it's directly to the man we were just speaking about. He might have a chance to get his first goal on the board, and that is Brody Powerfleeman.
And I guess that was probably reward for effort for Launceston. Clarence had a nice patch, but it's what happens when you get repeat inside 50 entries. Just a quick chip out of the contest from Clarence flew straight to Powerfleeman, who's probably been the best player so far this quarter.
He's a very good player, Brody Powerfleeman. He's short in stature, but he definitely knows how to find the football as he comes in. 45 out directly in front. He gives that one a roost. It looks better than his last shot. Doesn't quite make the distance, and it's a behind. So Lonnie, a lot of the ball here in the 450, but they aren't really taking advantage on the scoreboard.
Well, 9 behinds to the game. I reckon Mitch Thorpe on the sidelines would be pulling his hair out a bit because they have gotten opportunities but just haven't been able to convert so far.
It's definitely keeping Clarence in this game, and we don't mind it because it's a cracking contest so far. We do thank you wherever you are tuning into the TSL live stream for this round 6 clash between Launceston and Clarence as we wait for the umpire to throw the ball back into play. With 15 minutes gone, just into time on in this third quarter. It's Wade Wall and Tim Auckland battle. Auckland gets the ball down as he has all game. He might have given away a free kick there. Looks like it might be a free kick to Auckland.
It's always hard to tell in a ruck contest which way it's going to go, but it's Blackberry who sends the ball inside 50. He has a player there, but good defence from Launceston. Quick snap from Alec Wright, and it's hit the woodwork. So,
that really hasn't fallen their way, has it? I mean, they've had a few scrubby old kicks towards that goal line, and a few have just drifted to the left or the right of the goalpost, and it might end up costing them, but hopefully they're able to put one on the board soon enough for the sake of Mitch Thorpe and his Launceston team.
Well, 11 scoring shots to 4, but it's only 7 points the difference at the moment. They've now got 10 behinds for the game, so definitely a bit frustrating for Launceston, but you have to give kudos to Clarence for keeping themselves in this match.
The pressure's definitely the thing that's keeping in this game. So as the ball goes up, Auckland again wins it down. Quick handball out as the Launceston midfielder looks to take that one, but he's immediately set on by Jackson. Looks like he might have just been taken high there, so Launceston midfielder is going to kick the ball inside 50, you'd think so.
Well, Taylor has the ball. He's just looking for options upfield. It looks like he's going to bomb it long, and that's what he does. Pack flies, good fist from the Clarence defender, but Holt might benefit at ground level.
Could have been taken there without the ball, but the umpire was playing on. Holt again. Connor's dropped the ball there, Clarence, but no free kick. Quick kick out. Holt, no, doesn't take the mark. Clarence good in defence there, strong again as they have been all game. Alec Wright there looking to get this ball off the ground up to a teammate, but he's set upon by Clarence. It seems to be another ball up deep inside the forward 50 for Launceston.
I think it was Hines who had the shot, and he probably should have given the handball off to Holt there, just put himself in a harder position for snap to go, and wasn't able to get the purchase on the kick to even set up a marking contest.
Umpire Geeson throws the ball up. Alec Wright's in the ruck for Launceston. He can't bring it down. Holt's there again. Picks up the ground ball, but he's immediately set upon by a Clarence defender. Scrappy ball comes out. A lot of players around there. Someone will be looking to get a quick kick out and hopefully get a goal on the ball for Launceston. But the ball is in the bottom of the pack again, and umpire has blown.
Wet at the ground, but it feels like that forward part of the 50's got in a good work over from all
a bit
the
of mud
forwards,
there.
Yeah. It's like Wright's going to contest the contest, but the Clarence player got his hands to the ball. Blackberry locked up, and we've got another ball up, so some really good pressure from Launceston to lock it inside their forward 50, but haven't been able to profit with a goal despite a lot of opportunities this quarter.
Ball goes up. Alec Wright in the ruck against Gardner. Been inside that forward 50 for Lonnie, and bar that one
goal from Neil, it's been probably Lonnie's way so far.
Spot on there. So ball comes in, ruck tap out, Bailey gets it, he handballs quick, not to anyone in particular, ball goes out. Jackson could have been pushing the back there, and umpire hasn't paid it, so it's going to be another boundary throw in.
Yeah, very interesting contest at the moment. You almost feel like something has to give for Lonnie, but they actually did get those opportunities on goal, but just weren't able to convert. So probably pretty frustrating, but keeping up the pressure at the moment.
Ball comes back into play. Alec Wright's there. Gets a quick kick out, but again cut off by a Clarence defender. Just a bomb out of that back 50. Spectacular punch there. Not sure who won, but it was a monster of a fist, and the ball's gone out of bounds.
Yeah, getting some deserved plaudits from his teammates because it's still at their end of the ground. So keeping applying this pressure. I think Timmy Auckland might be back in the ruck now. It looked like Wright took a lot of those contests inside forward 50.
So Auckland and Wall to contest this battle. Auckland wins that one down. Riley gets it out for Clarence. Handballs to Jackson. He gets a quick kick out to number 17 in Kieran Howlett. He kicks up the line, not to anyone to advantage. Back inside 50 for Launceston. Immediately tackled the defender there. Number 1 for Launceston in James Gillow, kicks it, but it's gone out on the full. And the defender, Zach Bouchina for Clarence, it didn't go on the full, my mistake.
Yeah, I think someone got a quick touch to it, so obviously not a goal, but still a good result from Launceston as we're in time on in this quarter, but just seeing if they can finally break the dam wall and get a goal for all their effort.
Right, takes that 450 ruck battle again. James Holmes gets a quick kick out there. It could have been Jackson though. Clarence look to clear this ball, they can't. The big win in Auckland. He gets a tackle on.
Really good contest from there. I think we mentioned Polferman early in terms of improved players. I think Kieran Howlett's really lifted his intensity after half-time, and it looks like the siren might have actually sounded here. So,
just as you was talking there, the siren did sound, Hamish, so no doubt a lot of the ball inside the 450 for Clarence there, but only being 7 points down at three-quarter time, I'm sure that Coach Jeremy Rebelli would be pretty impressed with the way his side's tackled this contest so far.
Yeah, definitely. So the scores at the moment are it's 1-6-16 to 1-3-9. So as you can tell by the scoring shots, it's definitely been in Launceston's favour so far, but they haven't been able to convert in front of goal.
Brody Powerfree had a fair bit of it that quarter. He had 2 shots at goal, but he wasn't able to put one on the board. What did you make of his third quarter?
Yeah, I feel like he kind of flies under the radar a bit in terms of that Launceston midfield with the likes of Seymour and Harp in there, but I think he definitely stood out to me in that quarter as probably the most damaging player on the ground. Did some really good work down back and even had a couple of shots on goal during that quarter.
See Mitch Thorpe and the coaching staff of Launceston just stroll across the ground there to address the players. I'm sure that Mitch should be pretty happy with the way that the forward group of Launceston were able to control the ball inside that forward 50. But again, as we just said, they weren't able to put any real scoreboard pressure on in that third quarter, just because of the tackling pressure from Clarence.
Yeah, so just quickly, the goal scorers, it's pretty easy to run through the list. It's Jay Blackberry. He got his goal early in the first quarter, and Christopher Neal, so the only goal for the second and third quarters, took a really nice mark inside forward 50 and made no mistake.
We saw in that first quarter when Clarence had their first shot at goal, they got that through some good link-up play through the middle of the ground, and then again the goal from Neal came through some good link-up play from that commentary side of the ground up inside 450, and Neal was able to put that goal on the board, as you just said.
Yeah, and it's a very funny game because, as we've touched on, Launceston have probably been the better team, but it's only 7 points of difference. So if Clarence can break this game open a bit, like 2 goals, and they're in front by 5 points. So I reckon Jeremy Weberly will be really positive with his players at half-time, because while they haven't scored a lot, they've kept probably the most dangerous forward half in the competition to just 1 goal themselves.
And as we spoke about at half-time, obviously Glenorchy with the victory over North Hobart today, 7-8-50 to 4-8-32. Mitch Thorpe no doubt would see that result, and he'd think that if they can get, obviously they're in front now, but if they can keep Clarence pretty quiet in this fourth quarter and walk away into the bye next week with another win, they just create a bit more of a buffer at the top of the ladder.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, they're heading into the bye, and even just the momentum, being able to say we beat every team in the competition, just really creates some good momentum. But we should probably touch on Clarence, because they've probably been forgotten a bit in terms of the finalists of this season, but they're currently I think just outside of the top 4 and 5th. I'm not sure how the results today could have changed that, but I'm sure he'd be drilling into them. Not only would this be a massive scalp against the only undefeated team in the competition, but this keeps our finals hopes alive today.
Obviously coming in around 6, there was that logjam from 5th to 7th between Clarence, Tigers and Glenorchy with 1 win and 3 losses. Obviously Glenorchy with that victory today, that shoots them up to 2 and 3 and kind of breaks them away from that pack. So Lauderdale are sitting in 4th at the moment. They have the bye, but if Clarence can really put their foot down in this third quarter and give themselves a shot in this game, they can definitely challenge for that top 4 position. Yeah,
and just some other around the grounds. Currently three-quarter time at UTAS Stadium. It's North Launceston 9-6-60 to Kimbra 4-3-27. So North Launceston able to create a bit of space, and you'd have to suggest that probably another really big message for Mitch Thorpe at three-quarter time here, because their kind of crosstown rival was starting to make a bit of ground on them as well in terms of that top spot.
Clarence, obviously, with Lonnie having the bye next week, Clarence will walk into a pretty rampant, even though they lost today, North Hobart side. Jeremy Webley obviously be looking to take the good form that they've had today and hopefully in this last quarter and the next week.
Yeah, definitely, but they have to get through this game at the moment. And as we said before, it's a very unique one because it's very close, but if just one team's able to get a bit of a run on, you have the feeling that they could open up a game-winning lead here. And Launceston did have that opportunity. They had a couple of gettable shots, kind of 10, 15, 20 metres out from goal, but just weren't able to capitalise.
I think the big worry for Launceston in this fourth quarter, even though it has been a high-scoring game, Clarence have been a really good fourth quarter team all year. Obviously, last week we saw they were down by a fairly big margin against the Tigers at Richmond, but they were able to kick 5 goals in the last quarter to bring the game back to a respectable scoreline. They've been able to. They're not a fast starting team. I feel like they're a fast finishing team. So if there's any danger for Mitch Thorpe and the Launceston team in this last quarter, it's to hold Clarence's ability to have a fast finish and get over the top of them.
I think that's a really astute point you made there, because I guess my one worry for Clarence coming into this game was that they do tend to go missing for a lot of quarters, and they do come back a bit better like after half time, but I thought that might be where Launceston could really get the jump on them. We saw them get a 6-goal first quarter against the Tigers probably 3 weeks ago, but to their credit, they've just been on them all day, literally just around the ground as well, just with their tackling pressure. I
reckon that would have been the message from Jeremy Webley at three-quarter time, is that, we've given ourselves a chance for the first 3 quarters to be in this game. It hasn't been a high-scoring game, but our ability to tackle and put pressure on Launceston when they got the footy has given us a chance to be in with a shot in this game at three-quarter time. So let's not waste that. Let's give 110%. And let's see if we can't cause an upset here against Launceston at Windsor Park.
Yeah, especially away from home. Not a lot of teams beat Lonnie on the road. So Clarence, a real opportunity here. They've probably already sent a pretty powerful message to the competition, even if they can't get up today. But I'm sure that wouldn't be the message for Jeremy Webley. He would really believe that their team has what it takes to take down this undefeated Launceston outfit.
Definitely feel like we're in for a cracker of a last quarter here as the umpire raises the ball to get this fourth quarter underway. And it's going to be Auckland against Wade Wall, it seems. He goes up. Clint Riley looks to get the ball down here, but he can't get it out against Launceston midfielder in Joby Harper, and it's going to be a ball up.
That definitely seems to have been a change. Wall into the ruck for Bailey. I haven't seen him too much, so I wonder if that was a choice made voluntarily, if there's some sort of injury. But now Harper has the ball, but he had it for a while. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, but looks like the umpire's going to play it on and we're set for another ball up.
Looks like Riley might have the job on Harper in this fourth quarter. Obviously, Riley's a very experienced midfielder in this Clarence lineup, and if he can curtail the influence of Joby Harper, it might go a long way in Clarence being able to win this contest. As Riley kicks the ball, and only goes as far as the Launceston midfielder. They kick inside 50 again. So Clarence got to clear it through Holmes. Comes up to the far side of the ground. Clarence forward, number 24 in Oliver Preisha has taken the mark.
Been good. Got his ball smothered, but stole a bit of candy. Sends the ball up to the ground. No one in particular. Gray might have been whole, but Launceston looked like they'll rebound it. Polferman had it. He's been big since half time. Let's see if Launceston can break it open a bit. It does go back to that man, Polferman. Neat chip up the ground, but it doesn't reach Hines, who's tackled immediately. So once again, we see that tackling pressure. Umpire waited a bit, but it looks like we're set for another ball up.
Really good tackle there by Bailey. Straight on to him as soon as he picked up the ball, which is exactly what Clarence have done all game. As the ball goes up, Auckland wins it down against Wall. Jackson looks to clear this ball. He gets a quick kick off. Webley looks to pick this one up. He does. Gives a bit of candy there as he kicks deep to half forward to no one in particular, and the Launceston defender in Jacob Boyd's taking the mark at centre half back. He looks to switch this one wide to number 13 in Ryan Tyrrell. He's taken the mark ahead of Josh Green.
Looks to be playing a bit further up the ground again. Green at the moment, probably just trying to generate something for their forwards inside 50 as Tyrrell sends it up the ground, but it looks like a contest in favour of Clarence. They get the ball to ground, hands it out there to Preisha, and it looks like Clarence could be out here. Ball sent up, and right there he was, sorry, that was Preisha waiting. Shot on goal into the pocket, and that is a mark to Josh Green. So he's been around the ball a bit today, but hasn't been able to profit with a snag. But Tough shot from probably the right-hand pocket, but of course we know his experience playing the AFL. You'd think he might have the trick bag to finish it from here.
He's a very good player. I feel like Tyrrell's done a really good job in today, but on that occasion, Green got it. He's going to swing himself around here. He does the shot. Looks like he hasn't really given himself much of a room there to kick that one, and he hasn't done it, and it's a behind.
Yep, so that's our first score for the quarter, but potentially...
handy point.
Yeah, handy point. That's a cliche. So it's only a goal of difference now, and it's been pretty even so far, I'd say, but Clarence getting the first score of this quarter, so they'd definitely be feeling positive as the Launceston play. And
Jake Smith looks to bring this one out of defence. He kicks to the far side of the ground, looking for the big man in Harper. He almost takes that with a second grab, but he can't get it because Riley gets him down. Looks like it's going to be another ball up here. And it will be the umpire's blowing his whistle for a ball up.
I feel like a really underrated part of Harper's game. Of course, we know all the stuff he does in the middle of the ground, but he's a big man. He's marking it. It's like he's another key forward and link-up option for Launceston.
He's definitely a guy that could be playing at a full forward. He's got that height and just the strength around him, but he's definitely a very big reason that Launceston's midfielders had the start of the season they've had.
Leading from the front as the captain, but the ball is still at Clarence's end of the ground, so be very interesting to see what happens here. If they can get the first goal, it'd just be such a wave of momentum for this young Clarence side.
Auckland and Wall goes up, Auckland wins it down. It looks like Jackson might have been the beneficiary there. It's tackled immediately by Auckland. It's going to be another ball up.
Yeah,
some half forward.
Kind of reminded me a bit of a Shane Mumford tackle there. Auckland wasn't afraid to show he was the bigger man, but Jackson being very good, even though he's copped a tag
Not a guy I'd want to be tackled by, that's for sure. As he gets the tap out now, Riley looks to clear this one. He does. Gives a quick hands off. Doesn't really do much with that. The Launceston bench is called for ball, and I think they might have gotten it. They have. So Launceston will look to put this one deep inside 50. Short kick though, it's found Alec Wright just on the half-forward flank. Copping a fair bit of tension there from Bailey.
Another player like Josh Green, who's worked really hard today, hasn't registered on the scoreboard, but been impressed by his work up the ground. As he launches a big kick inside forward 50, pack flies, and it looks like it's going to be a free, in Clarence's favour, just a hold at the jumper.
Might have been a hold there, yeah. So Clarence look to switch this one in the back 50, they do. Trusted man there in Jeremy Webber, he's got it. He's going to look to kick this one long up the wing. He's looking for Jared Harper. He's got a bit of attention from Power Finman, can't take the mark. When he looked to rebound here, great tackle there by the Clarence player. Harper gets it again, kicks short up the wing. It's not really in the advantage of the Clarence player. And when he looked to clear this out through Boyd, does the blind turn, but he can't get away. Power Finman gets it, kicks to half forward. Holt's there, Harper's there. Harper gets his quick kick off. Doesn't really go to the advantage though. Clarence took to clear this one out through Wiley. Wiley kicks up towards half forward. Ball goes over the head of both the forward and the defender. Great one-hander pick up there from the Clarence forward. He's immediately tackled though by a Launceston player, and it's going to be another ball up.
Yeah, Ollie Preshaw, I think he's really lifted after half-time, and just to have those kind of skills to pick it up like that in what's probably still quite a wet ground out there just shows such class for such a young player.
Ball goes up, Auckland wins it down. Harper's immediately tackled by the Clarence defender. Looks like it might be out on the floor, or has it bounced just before the line? I feel like it might be a boundary throw, and it is.
So Clarence have got it to their end of the ground after a bit of Launceston pressure. We just need to see if one of these teams can break the game open, because it's hanging on a nice edge at the moment.
Ball comes back in. Wade Wall wins that one down. Immediately goes to ground. Wall again. Gets a tap out. Clarence player tries to kick inside, but he's immediately tackled. Looks for the shrug. The umpire doesn't pay. He has paid holding the ball. It's going to be a free kick there to number 18 in Jake Smith, who's been pretty solid in defence throughout this game.
Yeah, what you call a team-orientated defence from Launceston. It's what they've done all year. Probably no standout star key defender, but just all very honest. And we've talked about Launceston being low-scoring. To Launceston's backline credit, they've just kept Clarence to one goal as well.
So he's kicked wide out to Tuthill. Tuthill looks to drive this one up towards the wing, towards the Launceston bench. Pack forms. Perryman gets up, quick kick out, but it's gone out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
And I think I might have just seen Ryan Bailey there on the bench. It looks like his leg might be a bit outstretched, so that might explain why we haven't seen him in this second half and while Wall's taken the ruck throw-ins.
Well, Wall might have the duties for the rest of this quarter, it looks to be. So ball forms with the pack on the wing. No one really gets too much of an advantage here, but the big man in half looks to get a quick kick out. He does. Goes forward to Holt. Might have been taken high there. He has been. Umpires giving him a free kick. Holt looks to centre this one inside the ground, number 18 in Jake Smith. Can't take the mark. He's set upon by Neald. Webley gives it to Neald. Gives it back to Webley. The coach looks to set this one up. Smart kick inside 50. Kick to space. Josh Green there. He's dangerous. Can't get a tackle. Number 10 in Boyd gets that one out. Gets it out to number 29 in Bowen Pearce. He kicks wide to Grant Holt again, who's a guy who's spoken his name a fair bit in this last quarter. He gets it wide to Webley. Webley back, pumps it inside 50. All they need is a goal here, Clarence, but they can't get one because it's been taken by number 29 again in Bowen Pearce.
Yeah, really strong mark, and this Launceston defence holding up strong after a couple repeat inside 50s from Clarence. I thought Ryan Terrell was really good there against Josh Green. One out in the square would have been tough, but made it work. Ball flies in.
By Pato, I think he has. That was a really good mark there. Really good mark there by number 20 in Jared. Is that Jared Dakin?
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, mainly known for shutting other players down, but shows he can win his own ball with that great mark, and he sends it up the ground.
It's another really good mark there.
It's probably something that's been lacking from this game. A lot of flies to the contest, but no one able to bring down a mark, as it looks like a Clarence player might be down off the ball.
Kilo goes forward, goes for right. He can't get it, but he gets the ball anyway. Kicks quickly inside 50, but it's been taken by the Clarence defender. He looks to put this one in the centre of the ground. Dangerous kick though. Could have been cut off, but it hasn't. The Clarence forward did well there.
Quick kick from Smith, goes inside, but no man there to take it. Great follow-up effort there from Harper, and it looks like Clarence could be out if they can get the handball off. They do. So it's Ollie Preshaw, but great tackle there from Tuthill. We highlighted his efforts a couple of minutes ago on Josh Green, and probably saved another opportunity at goal because it looked like Clarence might have been out there.
They definitely looked like they were going to be out there, Hamish, and it was Tuthill that stopped that play in its tracks. As the ball goes up. Scrappy ball there in the centre of the ground. A few players on the bottom of this pack. Launceston look like they have possession. Two Clarence players as they have been on top all day. And it's going to be another ball up in the centre of the ground.
So we're just ticking over 10 minutes into this term, so no goals scored. So can't imagine too much time on. So still very much up for grabs, but one of these teams might need to try and take the game on if they want to win it.
Harper on the bottom of that pack with the ball, but the umpire's blown his whistle for a ball up. Brendan Taylor, the tackler there. So Auckland wins that one down. Looks like Sam Green's in the ruck now. Clarence have got the clearance anyway. They kick deep inside 50. This ball's going to scramble towards the goal line. No one there other than Launceston is going to go through for or behind. Josh Green appeals. He wasn't happy with that. He thought they might have warranted a free kick, but the umpires thought against it. So it's going to come out now through Jake Smith as he kicks to the commentary side of the ground. No one really takes a mark there. Almost taken a mark, but the ball spilled over the line.
Yeah, a bit of a professional free there. It looked like young Darcy Gartner's kick might have flown through with the wet square, but we talked about handy points earlier. That's definitely a handy one because Clarence, all they need is a goal to be in front at the moment. So definitely makes things interesting.
We spoke before about that handy point, and that might just have been another one. Because if the Roos kick a goal, they're definitely going to be in front in this contest. They've had the ball in their 450 for the majority of this last quarter. As a whistle's gone, and it looks like it could be a free kick to Launceston.
It looks like Weberly might have done a hamstring or at least tweaked it. He seems to be okay now. I was worried he might need to head off the ground, but it's Dakin who has the ball now.
Dakin on the back 50. He looks to put this one directly up the line. Look for Riley there, but he can't take it. Sorry, Blackberry. Dakin gets it again with the follow-up. He kicks to the forward in number 1 in Gillow. He can't take it though. Great defence by Clarence again. Big contest there from Neald and number 25 in Stuart Williams, but both players come off okay and it's going to be another ball up.
Yeah, really good attack on the ball there from Williams. Once again, kind of Launceston standing up at this area of the ground where Clarence have looked to break it open inside there, forward 50.
Auckland and Green go up again. Auckland wins it down. It's Jackson on the bottom of that pack. He gets it now. Throws his boot in mid-air, but it doesn't connect with the ball. Auckland gets it out. Handballs to Harper, sorry. Harper inside 50. Riley attacks the ball at full pace. Bounce doesn't like him though. Wright gets it, Holt's there too. Right. Play on, says the umpire. Great tackle there from Clarence again, as it has been all day. They appeal, Bushner appeals, but it's going to be a ball up just on the centre half forward position for Launceston.
It will be interesting to see who can stand up. Launceston now in a position where they probably want to kick another goal to win it. They have the lead, but they no longer have that 6 or 7 point buffer in hand. It's Wright palms it down, but it's Harper who gets the ball. Weberly out right to Gardner. He's been pretty prevalent. He sends it up the ground. Is there a player for him there? There's Josh Green, who created a pretty good contest. He keeps it in, but it might not have... looks like
just
it headed
falling out.
It actually was probably a good result there because his direct opponent, Tyrrell was there to clean it up. But the end of the ground now, so pretty good play there from Clarence to get it to the end of the ground, and it looks like we're set to throw the ball back in.
The Launceston defence will be very worried here, I feel like. Clarence will look pretty dangerous when the ball's gone inside their forward 50, so Weberly looks... plays that one a bit and he gets it.
Yep, umpire...
The coach, he gets the free kick here just on half full. He's going to send this long inside 50. He looks for a target. Smart kick. No one can bring it to ground though. Launceston rebound this ball back outside 50. Green gets it. Handballs to Weberly. Weberly goes backwards. Smother there for the Launceston player and the ball's gone out of bounds.
There were some 2 really good efforts there from Donnell. And wait, it looks like it might be a free, so I'll interrupt my train of thought. So looks like Burgess. Banks, he sends the ball up the ground. Can we get a mark? We almost did. Neil at the fall of the ball. Was he held without it? Umpire says no. Harper tries to burst his way through, but he can't.
Might have been a high tackle there, yeah.
Yeah, play slowed up a bit. So
Jacob Boyd's going to get the free kick. They'll look to settle the play now for Launceston. We're just about to approach time on in this fourth quarter. 5 points in front. They really can't afford for Clarence to get a run on here and kick a goal because they're behind the 8 ball. Got to keep possession and put a goal on the board as they look to do that up the commentary side of the ground through number 17. And we've got Brendan Taylor there. So Taylor, he sends this directly up the line. Pack forms, no one really gets a grab there. Harper's there, but he can't get it before the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it seems like they were just trying to play a bit of, not kick to kick, but just try to slow it down a bit, which is a dangerous game because, as we mentioned, only 5 points the difference. It has been low scoring, but all it's going to take is a goal for Clarence to take the lead in this game.
As we tick in the time on now, they definitely can't afford to play possession footy, even though there hasn't been many stoppages in this fourth quarter. I feel like there's a bit of time left in this game for Clarence or Launceston to get a goal on the board and do a bit of damage. As the ball flicks around on the half-forward line for Launceston, Gillow gets it, he's tackled immediately. I think that might be holding the ball. It is. They look to play advantage, but they're smart about it. They call it back, and it looks like Bailey might have the ball on the back flank. So there's a short stab kick, and he kicks it to number 6 in Sam Green, who's taken the ruck duties in this fourth quarter. So he's got it on the half-back line. He's going to kick directly up the line here. No one in particular, pack forms. Launceston clear it now. Kick up forward. Not really sure who is in the for there.
Yeah, it might have been off the boot, but it gives another chance to Clarence here. Green sends it in the centre of the ground, so they're taking a bit of a risk here. But Blackberry, he got the high. It's Blackberry's
definitely got high there. Yeah. Riley copped him a bit high there, so Blackberry was smart about it. Slows the play down a bit. He's gone wide now to Timmy Auckland. A real good player in this game, Timmy Auckland. He's going to look for Dylan Riley. He goes up with one hand. Might have been a push out, but play on by the umpire. Clarence look to defend this. A whistle's been blown somewhere. It looks like it might be a Clarence free kick through Baker Smith. Smith, he goes wide, looks for Harper. He takes a strong mark. Harper's been a really good player throughout this game also.
Wouldn't surprise me if they take it through the middle, which they are. It's that stage of the game where you need to take it on to try and win it. Garner contests the ball, gets a soccer forward as the 2 players go at it. Looks like it's Banks there contesting it, and just a lot of repeat efforts. Anything's handy here if it gets it towards their end of the ground. Finally gets it out to play, kicks it forward, and it's a mark from Jackson, hands it out to his teammate. Big ball, it's going to stand up to the centre of the goal square.
A bit of attention there from Green, but he doesn't get a mark there. Cops a bit of attention from the 2 Launceston defenders. He's a dangerous player. Could have been kicking in danger there, but I think it is. There's a whistle blown. This is a big call by the umpire. Kicking in danger, it was definitely there. The Clarence player had his head over the ball. I think it might have been Blackberry, potentially. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, but he's the one that looks like might have been the one that put his foot to the ball. He's gone short there.
Oh, but it's a smart kick. Yeah.
Really smart kick there. Number 33's taken it in Luke Swinton.
One of the inclusions today. Well, I guess it's a dream of everyone to potentially kick the match-winning goal, and he has that opportunity here right now.
A man that's come across from Lindisfarne last year, played in the Premiership in the SFL last season with Lindisfarne. Inclusion today. He could be the hero here for Clarence. Of course, the upset of the season so far as he comes in, very methodical, slow approach, flicks the ball over a few times. He's put that on the boot. Looks good. Looks really good. Clarence have kicked a goal and they are in front. Wow.
Well, you felt like it was coming. They felt like they got a lot of entries inside their 50 early in the quarter, but obviously any free late in the game will be a bit contentious, but I think, as you said, it was definitely there. And Clarence now lead this match by 1 point. That's
a massive result here if Clarence are able to hold on in this contest. Launceston obviously have gone through the season so far undefeated. Clarence could be causing the upset of the round here. Obviously, we're deep into time on now. They can't be long left in this game. Launceston will be looking for a quick centre clearance through one of their midfield bulls to hopefully, for Mitch Thorpe's sake, put them back in front. But Clarence right now in front in this contest with not long to go. It's Blackberry. He's on the bottom of that pack, but it's a clearance through Green. He kicks it deep inside forward 50, but it's all Launceston as number 29 in Bowen Pearce again takes the mark. He kicks wide. Launceston look to get this up the far side of the ground, the commentary side, sorry. They look to clear it, but it's all Clarence here as Harper gets it. He handballs backwards, gives it to Holmes. Spoiled there by Powell Freeman.
When he gets a free, it's copped high, so really interesting to see what they do. Oh,
and they've done it! That is all over. We have just seen the upset of the season, in my opinion, as Clarence win this game by the solitary point thanks to a Luke Swinton major deep in time on in the fourth quarter. Hamish, what a game.
Well, probably the most unique game of the season you can probably get. Only 3 goals scored for it, but I don't think anybody would have tipped Clarence heading into this match, and they pipped it at the death. I think Launceston led all game, probably except for that Luke Swinton goal late, which put them 1 point in front, and you can just see the joy on their faces. And Jeremy Weberly had some of his best players out for this game. He talked about setting standards, and they've headed up to Launceston and beaten the undefeated ladder leaders.
They went into this game, obviously, no Brady Jones, the captain, no Ollie Davis, the potential draftee for next year, Noah Holmes, he was an out, so it was James Beasley, and a guy comes in, Luke Swinton, came over from Lindisfarne last year, won a premiership there, and he's got Clarence their second win of the season.
Yeah, and then, as he said, really interesting last kind of quarter, because I felt like Clarence, they had the runs on the board. I think they were the only team who scored in that final quarter. They got the 2 behinds, and then that kicking in danger, we do think it was from Jay Blackberry, but set up Luke Swinton, who can't imagine he'd have too many bigger moments than that on a footy field, but credit to him, ice in his veins, and he made no mistake in front of goal.
We did speak about those 2 points that they kicked up. They turned out to be pretty handy in the end. That last quarter felt like a lot of the ball was in Clarence's forward 50, and they were just the ability to keep the pressure up as they had all game. Lonnie, every time they got the ball, they were tackled and set upon, and it's paid dividends for them in the end.
Yeah, definitely, and full credit to just their performance all around the ground. They applied a lot of pressure in the midfield, kept Launceston to only 1 goal, of course some errant kicking, but to keep the likes of Riley, Hines and Wright goalless, it seemed like an impossible task heading into this game, but they managed to do it.
You take nothing away from Lonnie, they've had a pretty outstanding start to the season. Mitch Thorpe, you think he'd be probably looking at that scoreline of 1 goal 10, he'd probably think that's where it might have cost him in the end?
Yeah, he definitely would, and obviously you're going to have a few rush behinds, but there were quite a few shots in there which were gettable, especially from the standards of players who were kicking that goal. And they probably look back at that 3rd quarter where, even though Clarence were the only team to kick a goal that quarter through Christopher Newell, that was where they had a lot of shots on goal but weren't able to convert each time.
I feel like Launceston obviously won the ruck battle all day through Timmy Auckland. He was outstanding for the majority of the game. Obviously up against Bailey in that first half, and then Wall majority of the 3rd quarter, and Stam Green in the 4th after Bailey went off injured. But every time that it seemed like that Auckland would win a tap down, it was a tackle pressure from Clarence that was just kept them in the contest.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. there, and it was a full credit to them because the game never got really out of their hands, but they just kept getting at it. They might have felt a bit dishevelled, well, not dishevelled, but disheartened not having a go at half-time. It probably helped that Launceston only had one themselves, but turned out they kicked the 2 remaining goals of the game. So definitely a unique contest because it was low scoring, but still a thriller nonetheless.
Run through a few of the better performers today. I think a guy, Jared Harper, was pretty good in the midfield.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I thought he was the standout, and you could probably argue maybe the most dominant midfield on the ground, even though he was in the losing side in the end.
Chris Neal he came in today. He obviously kicked that important goal in the third quarter, and he presented a target throughout the day.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, and I'd like to highlight the efforts of young Ethan Jackson because he copped the tag most of the day from Jared Dakin, who's taken down more experienced players than him, but I thought just his effort around the contest, just his way to kind of shrug tackles, I thought he was really good all day.
Obviously stepped up in the absence of Brady Jones and Ollie Davis. I thought the coach, Jeremy Reveley, in a different role to probably what he's played the majority of the season off half-back, I thought he was pretty good just being that general in the back line.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, and it was probably quite an astute coaching move for him to move himself down back, just settle the back line. I guess turning to Launceston, we touched on it earlier, but Tim Hawke and I wager that once we see the stats for the game, he'd have more than the lion's share of ruck kit-outs. He was pretty dominant all day.
We flip over to Launceston. Joby Harper was obviously their best player throughout the game.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you there, and even though Jay Blackberry, if he did cause that kicking in danger, I thought he was a pretty good presence most of the game, a bit more around goals than he has been in recent weeks, and of course their only goal kick out of this game.
Thought with Mitch Thorpe out, Alec Wright definitely provided a target inside that forward 50. Obviously Riley was well held too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there on Wright. I mean, in a game where his team only kicked one goal, it was hardly only not impacting the scoreboard, but his game was a lot more than that. It was his role to head up the ground a bit more and also pinch it in the ruck when needed. Josh Green was well held by Ryan Tyrrell in the back 50. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It felt like Green was a bit lively earlier moving up the ground, but it felt like in the clutch where they tried to target Green out, getting one-on-one, he really stood up, so full credit to him. And obviously one of the inclusions today, James Gillow, a youngster, I thought he provided a good option inside that 450 as a small forward. Yeah, I'd agree with you there, and also Grant Holt, like those kind of players, they were quite lively even though they didn't get goals on the board, and I guess part of their role was the fact that they're there to create a contest and apply a lot of tackling pressure. The last one I mentioned, I thought Brody Powerfimmon's third quarter was pretty good, even though he wasn't able to register a goal with those 2 shots. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I guess just rounding it out for Clarence, I thought young Ollie Preshaw, he was a bit quiet in the first half, but I definitely noticed him around the ball a lot in the second half. So obviously, as we just said, guys, it's one of the upsets of the season here in the TSL with Clarence with a 1-point victory over the ladder leaders in Launceston. Lonnie, next week we'll now head into a bye, and Clarence will go up against another decent side this season, another really good side in North Hobart. That obviously gives them a fair bit of confidence going in next week, Hamish. Yeah, going to be a very interesting game with North Hobart, of course, coming off a loss against Glenorchy, and this Clarence side, Jeremy Weatherly hasn't shied away from the fact that he thinks they can be in touch with the top 4. Missed an opportunity last week when Lauderdale lost, but this hasn't only boosted their finals chances on the ladder, but just how people will objectively view them, because they've done what nobody else has been able to do this season. Just before we finish, I think the result today definitely shows that this TSL season's wide open and anyone can take it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I was saying during the week, that it's more like who's going to step up to Launceston. I thought potentially North Launceston in the latter half of the season, but full credit to Clarence. They probably went into this game without too many people backing them, especially with the experience out due to injury, but they stepped up all day with their pressure and just their want and deserved winners in the end. Well, I feel like that'll do us today. We've seen a cracking game of football. Hamish, it's been a pleasure to have you with me, mate. Yeah, you too. Once again, repeating the score, it was Launceston 1-10-16 to Clarence 2-5-17. We do hope you've enjoyed this round 6 TSL action of Clarence with a great 1-point victory over Launceston, and we do hope to see you again with us. Thank you and take care.
Never had a job before. They used to call him Dick, and he was only about 5 years old, mate. So he was only about 11. This kid was about 16 or 17. Boom. Fucking knocked me
There was one you got. I don't blow that.